fell smack dab in it. Hey, tomorrow, hey, don't go away. On the freedom, just might come your way.
Democrats destroyed their own neighborhoods and blamed racism. What?
What's to be gained? You stop for one split second to think. Burning and looting doesn't help you in any way.
That was Morgan Freeman from 2015 after rioters destroyed Baltimore. Same holds true today. But why is that so hard to say today? The looting and violence is ignored or excused, when the average American says, no, that's not okay. That needs to stop now. They become the bad guys. You're told the looting and the violence is Trump's fault, or capitalism's fault, or it's because of systemic racism. And the people destroying the cities are just trying to make their oppression heard. You really believe that? That millions of Americans are victims who aren't responsible for the choices that they make?
Get it off your chest? Call the Dave Weinbaum Show. They accuse this show of being run by boobs. Well, let me tell you something about us boobs. We're real and we're spectacular. Want politics and fun sprinkled with a lot of laughs? You're in the right place. Heard in 50 states and 98 countries, we just put 11 years of radio excellence into the can. Now, in our 12th year, the Dave Weinbaum Show is on the air. Waters, that's Jesse Waters, did a smart thing. He put together a group, all successful blacks, that over the last 60 to 70 years have lived and are living the American dream. Just before Malcolm X was assassinated by the Nation of Islam 65 years ago, and he was executed because he called out the real racism in this country, the real snakes as liberals. What's changed? Nothing. That's 65 years ago. The Dems pick an injustice knowing that racism in this country is not systematic but does occur. And they shove it up everyone's arse, inciting black libs to destroy their own neighborhoods, killing all enterprise, so that blacks can point fingers and collect government checks for their votes. Blacks like Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, Malcolm X, Lorraine, and today's best representative, Candace Owens, speak on behalf of the American dream. They are obliterated by others who have corrupt ties to the Democratic Party like Al Sharpton, now partnering with the likes of China and Russia. Blacks have become tools to overthrow a government that works for governments that hate America and would just as soon have a Venezuela, Ecuador, Soviet Union, China style of governing. Evidence of this is the successful seizure of 6-block section of Seattle and the failed attempt to conquer part of Portland. As to blacks being victimized, I would surmise that a white wearing a MAGA hat is in more danger of being attacked than a black these days. We must fight back. America is too important to the world to give up on the USA, because the USA is a beacon of light to those seeking a ray of hope. Or am I wrong? Hi there, welcome. My name is Dave Weinbaum. I'm the host today for the Dave Weinbaum Show. And I want to say hello to my friend and my director and the owner of this radio show. What the hell's your name? Oh, Steve Wheeler. Yes, sir. And my lovely bride who just sauntered in, Lisa Ann Strausser Weinbaum. How are you?
That's too many names.
What do you want me to call you?
Just, how about Lisa?
Honey?
Yeah,
Honey.
is
See,
good.
that's condescending if I did that.
I had to drive through a wreck to get here.
Really?
What happened?
Big wreck up there.
Did you cause
10th
it?
Street and that street by the veterinarian office.
Oh, yeah, that's
right.
right there at Lovers Lane and
Yeah.
and Stoltz Road. There.
Well, I'm very sorry about that,
So I
but
may
you
have
know
a
what?
flat tire later because I drove through the wreckage just to get here.
Oh, gee. Well, I'll listen to this sob story after the show if you don't mind, because I think we have a caller.
All right, carry on.
And I don't know who this is, but you know what? I think we play the song and take a chance.
I think
What
we
do you
do.
think?
I think we do.
Hit
Let's
it.
do it. Hit it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear some rock and roll.
I want to hear it from you. Did a little James Brown this morning, and I want to hear a little bit of this. Big Disgrace. All over the place. We will rock you. We will rock you. Okay, I have on the line the most famous 252-year-old man. See, I got it right this week. 252 years old, ladies and gentlemen. He was just a kid when this country was being formed. And boy, does he know stuff. What's under that tinfoil hat of yours, JJ, this morning?
Well, Dave, this is another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm in Newburgh. I'm a range official for the state championship three-gun match.
Wow.
So I'm going to have to make this brief because there's going to be gunfire starting here pretty soon.
Okay.
You know, I wonder when the black man on the street is going to come to the realization that he has been a pawn to the Democrat Party, a pawn to the anarchists, and a pawn that was bought pretty cheaply. Pelosi and her buddies are pandering to the blacks right, left, and upside down. You look at any Democrat city, they're being pandered to. The anarchists are being pandered to, but only until November 3rd. And then they become Uncle Tom once again and ignored and abused by the Democrat Party. When are these folks going to wake up and recognize that the best thing that ever happened to them was Donald Trump, and the best chance that they have to succeed is with Donald Trump?
Well,
That's my question for the morning.
well, you know what? This is the fight. This is the battle. This is why we have to back people like Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman. Even Malcolm X figured this out. That it's not the Republican Party. It never was the Republican Party. The Republican Party freed the slaves.
Indeed.
Okay, it wasn't the Democrats. They were the slave party. So now they
Why
figured
is
out a
it?
way, huh?
Why is it that the blacks tend to take people like Michael Brown, who was a thug,
Yeah.
George Floyd, who was a meth drug user criminal,
Yeah.
and use those as the standard bearer? Instead, they could have somebody like a Supreme Court justice,
Yeah,
or
well.
a Denzel Washington, or some black man or woman who has actually been successful and made something of their lives, and instead these folks choose thugs and drug addicts.
Well, because I don't, you know what? I don't know.
What's
There's no good reason except that their leadership pushes them that way, and they won't let other leaders into the leaders like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. They won't even go and talk to people like Clarence Thomas, because Clarence Thomas would rip them apart in 10 seconds. And you know how I know that? That's almost a direct quote from Clarence Thomas to me when I met with him in his office in 1993. Because I saw Jesse Jackson out on the steps of the Supreme Court on my way in to see Judge Thomas.
Well, you know,
and he told me
Sharpton
that. I says, why don't you call these guys in and talk to them? And that's what he told me.
Sharpton and Jackson are nothing more than apologists and not very good at it at that.
Well, no.
Okay, Dave.
Wait a minute now. They make money doing this. All right, they make a lot of money doing this.
They make money, but they're thin. Listen, first shot's fixing to be fired.
Okay.
I've got to get off of this. God bless
Okay,
you.
one word of advice. Duck.
Sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
Safest place to be anywhere.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
JJ. I appreciate the
Safest
call.
place to be anywhere.
Yeah,
On a
That's pretty
shooting
funny right
range
there.
with everybody loaded.
That's pretty funny. All right, speaking of loaded, boy, we got a loaded show today. As you can tell, I'm tired of talking about race, but it keeps coming up. Why do you think it's coming up right now? Why do you think all these things are happening? Because this is how the Democrats, this is their campaign. And thus far, they're successful. I have to say that I don't believe much about the polls, but I do believe it's trending a little bit away from Donald Trump. And I think he's got to go out and do these rallies. And they're trying to everything in their power to stop him.
Well, see, and JJ made a very, very valid point. It was the Republicans who freed the slaves. It was, it was the Democrats who enslaved them, and still to this day is. And like he said, they're using them as pawns, and that shouldn't be right. If it's Black Lives Matter, then they should matter, and they shouldn't be subject to that.
Sure, I would agree. And let me just say this to you. The phone number is 573-364-4433. Get it off your chest. Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Dave. This is John from Salem.
Hiya, John. How are you?
Well, I'm doing very well.
Good.
My comment is, after listening to JJ and you, is all this is no coincidence what we're seeing now. It was planned last year, and with the help of the communists and China and the billionaires like Bloomberg and Tom Steyer, they've been planning this and are just waited for the right opportunity. And boy, coronavirus came up, and that really put it in high gear. But to understand what all is happening, you have to read the book by Obama's mentors, Saul Alinsky,
Right.
Rules for Radicals, and you have to understand what's in the Communist Manifesto. And once you see those things, how they're working together, it's very plain what's going on. They're trying to destroy the United States and turn it into a communist country. And we've had professors in the colleges since the 60s brainwashing these young people, and now we got all these little silly spoiled brat snowflakes running around that all they know is what their communist professors have taught them, and it's so obvious what's happening, but people can't see it. I don't understand.
Well, it's been a festering infection for about 70, 80 years that the communists have gotten themselves into the schools, into the teachers, have seeded this, and it's coming to fruition right now to where it's a battle. They're not even ashamed anymore. They used to be ashamed to call themselves socialists and communists. Now they're up front with it. That's how brazen they've gotten. And we got to get brazen back. Dang it. We can't just sit around and try to reason this out. We have to fight like they do, don't we?
Yes, and they gave us the blueprint for what they were going to do Nikita Khrushchev in 1959 told how he would start a communist takeover of our country, and told all the steps and how it was going to go from socialism to communism. And it's worked out just exactly like he told us he was going to do.
We must fight back. And is there any other way? We're basically in the beginnings of a civil war, and it's getting to be close to a firing civil war. And we have to address it as it is. There are attempts now to take over cities, to take over states.
How do you fight back when all the news media is against you? A lot of the Republicans are against you, and the whole Democrat Party has been taken over by the communists. So
I don't know. How do we win the Revolutionary War against the most powerful country in the world? Ask yourself that. How did we beat those guys? Because we were determined to do it, and we wouldn't give up. General George Washington is, in my mind, the biggest American hero there ever was, because he would not give up.
But do you think we have the quality of people now that we had back then?
Yes. I think we got a lot of good people, and I think we got a lot of fighters, and we just have to get ourselves on the same plane that this is a threat to our country. A lot of people are going, well, it's not that big a deal. Well, I think I do a lot of work on this stuff, as you know, and I think it is a big deal. I think there is a real, and you saw this with the hoax of trying to get rid of Trump. Was that legal? Well, we're soon to find out. We know it's not legal. We know they broke the law to overthrow a president. For what reason?
It's the biggest deal that our country has faced throughout its whole entire history.
Well, since the war,
November,
yep.
This November is going to determine the fate of the United States, and usually as the United States goes, so goes the rest of the world. So It's very important for the communists to make this work.
Like I said, we are the beacon of light to those seeking a ray of hope all over the world. Where do they all want to go? Where do they all want to live? The United States of America, as it is now, with all its faults, with the fact that we have racism. Racism has been throughout history, and we did not start the slavery. I mean, I trace back my ancestors to Egypt. We were slaves to Africa back 3,300 years ago. So where do they come up with this? That somehow I'm a racist because I'm a little bit whiter than some, although I am very tan right now. That's what standing in a drive-thru does for you.
Tell him, Lisa.
What?
You have a hat tan.
Okay, well, I play golf, too. That's right. I have a hat tan, and I'm very proud of that, by the way. I'm white on I'm white on the top of my head, and I'm tan on my neck and everywhere else.
Like a farmer's tan.
There you go. There you go. All right, my friend.
Well, I hope, Dave, that your optimism is pans out, and I guess we have to be optimistic. But
I think we got to maintain our sense of humor. I think we have to be happy within ourselves, and I think we got to strike back. And part of the show is that we're striking back. We're not laying down here. I'm not having Steve telling me what to say, what to do. No one else in this town tells me what to say or what to do yet, and I won't do it.
That's why you're the best show on radio.
Oh, my friend. Okay, we got to get that recorded.
All right, we got it. All right, John.
Hey, thank you. You must have.
You should see his smile.
He might have just eased his way into one of these. Maybe even a opening of the show.
$35 gift card from McDonald's, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Come up with some more stuff like that, and we'll talk. All right, so here we're back on. I almost said it again. I didn't say it though. But we're going to have to take a break. But before that, I want to make sure you all know I got the Rabbi coming on at 9:30. We had JJ, who was out there dodging bullets out there in Newburgh.
Safest place in the
Probably not.
world.
Safest place in the world, he says. All right. So, Doc! JJ, Doc! Anyways, Elad's coming on. Elad Hakim, the lawyer. Everybody cries about, well, you didn't have Elad on. Well, he's coming on at 10. In fact, that's JJ, who's dodging bullets in Newburgh. And so we're going to have Elad Hakim. And then he's going to pass the phone over to Dr. Amy, his lovely bride, who asked me for therapy last time she was on. We didn't have the time for it. So I feel very guilty.
We'll start off with her therapy first instead of yours.
Yeah, we will. We will. Absolutely. I agree. In fact, I've got it written that way in my interview,
All right.
which will maybe a little shocking to her. DeAnna Lorraine, who is now full-time or part-time with Newsmax. I watched one of her bits. She's just great. She's very smart. And we've got Laura the Illuminator, all right, coming on at 11:30. She's the new kid in town, right? That's the song. And listen, it's a great show. And I got Lisa here, and we're happy today. We're not fighting. She didn't step in anything that I know of.
See, that's when we need them cameras in here, Dave. For
I
that
know. Well, there it is.
expression.
For her reaction.
You're stepping in it.
I'm stepping. Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. Phew. I stepped in it big time last year.
Yeah. Didn't you say
When
it was
I
time
married
for
you.
a break, Dave?
Yeah.
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 There you go.
Hurry
Get it
up.
off your
come on.
chest.
Hurry
You
up.
want a piece of me?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, no, it's not time for that because
I'll
I'm
leave
feeling
the
a little,
room. I'll
I'm
leave the
feeling
room.
a little now that she's yelling at me and she's
trying to pick a fight.
there you go.
Come
See,
on.
Trying to pick a fight.
I need a little Sicilian moment because I'm getting a little scared.
You want to do that before a
Yeah.
break? You okay?
Yeah, I think so. 'Cause I'm getting a little scared.
Should be.
I have a PhD in spice. They call me Dr. Pepper. Forget about it. Well, you know, I'm not a real doctor, but I am pretty spicy, as my wife knows. You know, she might not. That's why she married me. She married me for my spice. You know, isn't that right, honey?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Spices and herbs.
Spices and herbs, right there. Anyway, I think I have a caller. Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oops.
Here. Let's see if this is.
All right.
He might.
Hi there. Welcome to the Dave. Hello.
Is this KKID?
It is K-Kid.
Yeah, I was trying to get through to the show.
Yeah. Well, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Arthur.
Huh?
Arthur.
Arthur. Okay.
Yeah.
I got about 2 minutes and I got to take a break.
Oh, is this Dave?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Dave. Arthur. I like that joke last week about what you got when the cow gives birth to a calf. Decaffeinated.
Yeah, that wasn't my joke. Thank you very much.
I know it wasn't. I heard somebody else call. Hey,
That was JL.
JJ just called in.
Yeah.
He kind of asked a rhetorical question. He
Okay.
says, well, just in case he's listening, he said, well, what is it with these blacks? That tone, I don't know, something wrong with that tone. Are these people, all across America, people talk like that. They need to check that out. That doesn't sound right. And
Well, we need to call it. We need to call people who are.
Washington,
Yeah, go ahead.
JJ, because
Yeah.
all people, regardless how low class I might think they are, or how low class you may think they are, every person, a wino, even a wino, a beggar, a homeless person, has intrinsic value in the eyesight of God Almighty. Let's try not to forget that. Everybody has intrinsic value in the eyesight of God Almighty.
I agree.
Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
All right. Well,
God
good.
bless everybody.
Hi to Kim.
Bye-bye.
Good to talk to you, my friend. All right, that's Art from Waynesville, a friend of mine. And we're going to be right back. Call the show. 573-364-4433. Get it off your chest.
Hi, I'm Pat Tackett, broker for VIP Properties with offices in Salem and Houston. We welcome you to stop by one of our offices and visit. If you have any questions regarding real estate with buying or selling, all agents with VIP Properties will be happy to help you with your interest. We have a wide selection of listings with residential, farms, commercial, recreational, even a few live water properties. In Houston, call 417-967-8888 or Salem 573-729-7622. Thanks and stop by.
Why settle for the forecast when you can control it? Hartley's Climate Control is your locally owned heating, air conditioning, plus so much more company. Hartley's offers residential and commercial sales, service, and installation in the areas of heating and cooling, hearth and home, handyman services, and more to the Rolla, St. James, and surrounding areas. Call 573-368-3163 or visit them online at www.hartleyscc.com. Hartley's Climate Control, community born, community raised, community serving.
Reality check number 22. On a scale of 1 to 10, shouldn't customer service be an 11? At Town & Country Bank, we have a solution for that. Walk into any Town & Country and you'll feel welcome right away. We're your neighbors. If you're a customer, we'll probably even call you by name. It's just what neighbors do. Town & Country Bank. Smart, friendly solutions. Member FDIC.
Come see the professionals at Brown Vet Clinic of Rolla, where they promise to place your pet's health and wellness above all considerations. They communicate openly with you about the individual preventative needs of your pet and help protect them from common infectious and contagious diseases while using the best available methods, no matter how big or small the animal. The staff is there to help you 24/7 and will get you an appointment as quickly as possible. Give Brown Vet Clinic a call today for all your animal needs. 364-1919.
Of the multiple choices for investing advice, the Brummett team at Stifel is ready, willing, and able to form a plan to suit your needs. Member of SIPC and NYSE, the Brummett team has been in business for 30 years. Call 573-364-8930. That's 573-364-8930. My son Aaron and I are proud clients of the Brummett team. If you've watched Storage Wars, you know how smelly and moldy your valuables can get. Daniel's climate-controlled units ends all that. It's like a spa for your stuff. Call Investment Realty at 364-4050 and reserve a unit for Daniel's climate-controlled and secure storage. That's 364-4050. Follow me at DaveWeinbaum.net, at The Dave Weinbaum on Twitter, and streaming live on the Dave Weinbaum Show Facebook page.
Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't or
Today?
cannot? Yeah.
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. Hey, you and I, we're proof. Why would race have anything to do with it? Put your mind to what you want to do and go for that. It's kind of like religion to me. It's a good excuse for not getting there.
That was...
According to Morgan Freeman, you can only control what you can control. Yourself. No excuses.
Over by the police, come over to my window, flash his light in my face, hand on my pistol. I can handle that two ways. I can start yelling and screaming and tell him he a racist and he don't know me. You're doing this wrong. Or I can say, yes, officer, no, officer, or we done, officer. Mm-hmm. And both of them are going to have drastically different outcomes.
Well, now, I almost made a faux pas. I interrupted Denzel Washington. You don't do that, do you? You don't interrupt Denzel Washington. So, but he's got a point, and you're going to hear later. And by the way, this is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you people out there. I get more gifts on Mother's Day because, well, my employees have all been calling me a mother all year long, and I go out and get gifts. Father's Day, not so much, but it is Happy Father's Day. I know Steve has great remembrances of his father, who was my predecessor, actually, as a show host of a conservative talk show.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep.
You know, Lisa's father, who was a a highly respected animal doctor, big animal doctor out here called, Doc Strausser, who was one tough SOB, let me tell you. The guy had no pain level. I mean, and he once dropped, what was the guy's name? Picard? He once punched Noel Picard and knocked him out. Well,
he was definitely one of a kind, and this past week also marks what would have been their 60th anniversary.
Wow.
So, yeah.
All right, well, I think I know who this is. But we're going to, just in case, we're going to play his song. And hopefully this is a shalom and not a hi. Is it a shalom? All right. All right, hold on and listen, because I know how you love your song.
Sounds like you're cheating on me.
No, actually, I'm cheating with you on him because he was the first rabbi. Listen to this. I got rabbis fighting over me. This is kind of weird. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this particular person, Rabbi Moshe Rothchild, has been contributing to this show for at least 10 years or maybe close to 11 years. He's the official rabbi to the Dave Weinbaum Show, future rabbi to the Trump Third Temple Hotel, Golf Course, Casino, and Spa. And he's calling all the way from Efrat, Israel. Please welcome Rabbi Moshe Rothchild. Oh, my God, he's bigger than that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, all right. So, Rabbi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Dave. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Usually when you ask a Jew how he is, he gives you a 10-minute rant about how horrible things are. Am I wrong? Hey, my son-in-law, he's nasty to me. He doesn't like my wife. He's a jerk. There you go. And anyways, did Putin save Israel from Obama's wrath? Do you know anything about that? That was according to Netanyahu.
Did
yeah,
well,
Putin.
I think I think he did. In fact, the relationship between Netanyahu and Putin has been very, very strong, even though Putin's not the most moral, ethical guy in the world.
Yeah.
What incident are you referring to exactly? Talking about in Syria.
He got the UN to back down, I believe, from a resolution that would have made Israel give back all the pre-67 war land to the Palestinians. I'm pretty sure that was on it, and he put a stop to it via his canceling vote, because the U.S. was going with that.
Right. Right. So that we're talking about when the Obama administration did not protect Israel in the UN.
Right.
And this is the parting shot, so to speak, of the Obama administration, because the U.S. has always protected Israel in the UN.
Right.
So it was really, it was Putin really who did protect us in the UN, taking the role of what normally the U.S. did. I mean, we all know Obama was, deep down, no friend of Israel, in my opinion. I
think it goes deeper. I think it goes deeper than that. I really believe he hates.
Look, I'm trying to be generous.
Well, I don't have to be generous. Hey, who is he hanging around with? He was hanging around with Reverend Wright, hates Jews, and Farrakhan. Farrakhan is proud that he hates Jews.
Right.
And he kept his relationship with Farrakhan hidden until after the election. I mean, after the last election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Obama began his first trip overseas by going to Egypt and throwing Israel under the bus.
Yeah.
That's not a good way to start off your relationship with your best ally.
Well, he made an apology tour to all the Arab countries, is what he did, and basically apologizing for the Middle East.
That's correct. But what he said, though, in Egypt, he said that Israel was a country established after the Holocaust, meaning that the only reason Israel existed was because the world felt guilty because of the Holocaust. Not that we had any historical religious claims to the land. Our only claim was the Holocaust. And this is a typical canard from the Arab world that says, look, the Europeans inflicted the Holocaust on the Jews. Why should we pay the price of the crimes of the Europeans? So when Obama stands up and he says, well, Israel's Israel because of the Holocaust, I mean, that was people here when
he wiped out 3,300 years of history. And the very basis for the very basis for the three top religions in the world.
Right, for the Judeo-Christian ethic, and it was just gone in the one little Cairo speech.
You got it. Hey, 90,000, and speaking of Israel, 90,000 new immigrants in the next 18 months. First of all, what did they do? Close down Miami Beach?
Look, we're expecting an enormous spike in Jews making what we call in Hebrew aliyah, coming home to the land of Israel.
Why?
And they're not necessarily coming home because, like I did. I moved from the United States, not running from anything, but many of these Jews are scared in the United States. They're scared with what's going on. These riots, somehow Black Lives Matter ends up blaming the Jews. Somehow it ends up the Jews' fault. So a lot of people are afraid of what's going on. Between the coronavirus and the riots, saying, you know what, the handwriting's on the wall.
Don't Jewish lives matter too?
Well,
you know what? All lives matter. That's the bottom line.
Well, I think that's what Arthur just called in and rephrased to was, all lives matter.
Right.
So when is it really going to stop as far as, what about the human race? That's what I don't get. What about the human race?
Well, we know it's a lie. We know it's based
the
on
human
a lie.
race.
Some humans, no, not the human race. The fact that there is a human race is being lied about. It's that some are better than others. Right. Some are more entitled than others.
Right.
Some are worse than others. Right. And it's not that that's not true, but it's not endemic upon the color of your skin.
No.
Okay, or the religion you choose, unless your religion is to kill the other religions off.
Right.
Okay.
That's I really think that there is an opportunity for the good people to stand up and say, look, all men are created equal, all women, everyone's created in the eyes. But what's going on here is just bending over backwards and caving in to the lowest common denominator of those who want to destroy the fabric, I think, of the United States, and that's what's going on, really. Which is not going to affect any systemic changes. It just ends up creating, I think it's close to civil war, to be honest with you.
Right. Oh, you know what? I just said that. How about that?
Right.
Yeah. Who said Who said Jewish minds? Well, you know what? There are all sorts of different opinions from Jews. You can say the word Dave Weinbaum, and people will say, oh, he's a liberal, he's Jewish. Okay? Even Rothchild. Last week I had a call from a guy who tied you to the rich Rothschilds, and I hung up on the guy as quick as I could. Yeah, I realize that. Unfortunately, you're not from them. Okay, and I told him, I said, you know what? I don't need this call.
Doesn't even
because he was trying to tie you into some evil things that they did or something.
Yeah, they spell their name with an S in it. We leave it off for saving. So
what's that? We leave it off for saving?
I said, yeah, they spell it ROTHSCH.
Right.
We don't include the S. I said we leave it off for saving.
Okay. Right. Now France is suffering from intifada of its own as Muslims clash in mustard. Oh, wait a minute. I mean Dijon. Now, maybe that's a new sponsor, Dijon Mustard. What do you think? I don't know. Anyways, no, they're actually clashing there. So they're importing. So what's wrong with France? What did France do except accept them as immigrants?
Well, the problem in France is that they were so liberal-minded that they allowed in anyone and everyone, and the percentage of Muslims that in that country, we're not talking about just Muslims that are law-abiding, peace-loving people. We're talking about Muslims who want to create a caliphate, who want to take over Europe, and they allowed them in great numbers, and it's, again, a matter of time. It's before France becomes a Muslim country, if it hasn't already, crossed those numbers. And England is heading down that road as well, and Germany. They're just looking to use their sheer numbers to overwhelm these European countries. Europeans have a 1.2 birth rate or something, and these Muslims are coming in with birth rates of 6 or 7, with jihadi tendencies, and again, I'm not talking about the peace-loving Muslims. I'm talking about those who come, the radicalized Muslims, and boy, France is in for it.
Speaking of which, guess what's happening in the United States? The birth rate is almost a zippity-doo-dah, and nobody's getting married anymore. Here in the United States. Right. It sounds like part of the plan. Right, anyways, going back to the Middle East, yes.
You know what the birth rate here is?
Oh, it's 4 or 5, isn't it? 4 or 5 per couple?
It's close to 4. I mean,
that's great.
Have a higher birth rate amongst Jews than the Arabs. I mean, it's I know we're a family. I have 4 kids. We're one of the smallest families in the neighborhood.
There you go. And what else is there to do? What can I tell you?
Exactly.
Hey, Anwar,
we're going to have, they have the.
Go ahead.
I was saying they had the baby boomers. There's going to be the Corona boomers, and another.
There you go. Yeah, well, that's all you got to do. You went to your homes and you stayed there for. So probably you're going to have a big surge of babies pretty soon. Probably get 90,000 babies too. Hey, Anwar Gargash, Foreign Minister of the UAE, that's United Arab Emirates, says that Arabs should seek communications and better relationships with who? Israel. The example is how you've cooperated with them on COVID-19 and the pandemic. You seem to always offer a hand to all these Arab countries, including Hezbollah, and including your relationship with, what's the other group?
Hamas?
Yeah, Hamas. You're always offering them to cure them and to help them, and they always bite you. So here's a group that says, hey, why don't we cooperate with these guys? Because, we might not agree with them, but we're good for each other.
That's right. The UAE, they flew, I think we mentioned on the air a couple weeks ago, the first commercial flights came from the United Arab Emirates here to Israel. That country, after Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, they're really turning a corner. It's another country that Bahrain, these countries are now opening up their doors and extending their hands to Israel. It's incredible.
It's all very interesting. Hey, other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and contribute to you?
They can go to my website, IsraelAlliance.org. IsraelAlliance.org.
Rabbi, things are so sensitive that Aunt Jemima got axed. I wonder if color TV is next. Ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi Moshe Rothchild calling all the way from Efrat, Israel. All right, thank you, Rabbi.
All
Shabbat
right.
Shalom, my friend. Hi to Yonit and the kids.
Okay?
All right, bye-bye.
Got it. Take care, everybody. All the best. Bye-bye.
I love the silence after that joke. It was a joke. Get a sense of humor, for God's sake. All right, so
well, if they got rid of
Rabbi.
cover TV, they'd have to go back to black and white.
Oh yeah, there you go. Here comes the
call. Dare I? I don't know.
Give it a shot. Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Adolf.
Adolf, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
All right. What's going on, my friend?
Oh, it's the same old thing. All this Yahoo stuff about, the police, and everybody's reacting to how bad the cops are and everything else. It's all nonsense. It really has nothing much to do with the police. The police are the excuse. It's an opportunity for them to do what they want to do, and that's change us.
Well, it's not only it's more than an excuse. It's a way to get rid of them. It's a way to take over whole neighborhoods of the United States, like in Seattle and stuff, and have no law and order. The gangs become the law and order. That's the way it is in Chicago. That's the way it is in Chicago right now.
You really never get rid of police. You change what they do, but you don't get rid of police, because when they get it to what they want, then the police go after you because you're a racist, you said something wrong, or something like that. They don't call them police, but that's what they are.
Well, yeah, they become the police.
They become the police.
And the
they're the
gangs.
Police. Yeah, you change their occupational stuff, but you don't get rid of them.
Yeah, you just
so
change
it has nothing
who
to
they
do
are.
with the police. It's just an opportunity.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah. Well, I was at the doctor yesterday, and we had a discussion about the Hong Kong flu, or whatever you want to call it. And the discussion was based on, now that this virus is out, it's like any other flu. It never goes away. You can never get rid of it. It's here to stay.
Yeah.
Once you let the cork out of the bottle and shake it up and spread it around, it's going to stay.
Yeah.
So my question to him was, so how long are they going to say, well, you got to keep your mask and everybody has to social distance? How long is this going to go on? And he didn't have an answer.
There you go.
He doesn't know because, and I said, well, what's to say that everybody shouldn't get this virus one way or the other, then it goes away? Because you look at the way back in the 1600s when we first came over here, we practically destroyed the Indian population with our diseases that we brought over from Europe.
Yep.
So it's the same thing.
Well, I don't know. I mean, pretty soon it kills itself, I think. Although the flu never has. Some of these things have. SARS, even the worst one of them all, Ebola. I mean, that killed everyone it could, and then it ran out of people to kill.
Yeah, sooner or later,
most of these things go away, but obviously the regular flu is still with us. It still kills 60 to 70,000 a year.
Yeah, these politicians and all that, they want to yap, and they run at them out. Hubert Humphrey was a great example of that.
Yeah.
It even bit the Lone Ranger once. Him and Tonto were camping outside of town one night.
Yeah.
And it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and Tonto wakes up and he looks up the sky and he says, Lone Ranger, look at all the stars and the moon and all this other stuff. And the Lone Ranger says, yeah, Tonto. And he started a monologue, and he went on and on about astrology and astronomy and how great the stars were and telling time. And he went on for 15 minutes. And Tonto was sitting there rolling his eyes out, and finally the Lone Ranger quits, and he says, what do you think of that, Tonto? And Tonto looks at him, and he says, Kumasabi, you're dumber than a buffalo. Somebody stole our tent.
Okay, pretty good. Yeah, even Steve like that. He's a he just cued the audience to applaud, and they went along with it. So nobody laughed at my last joke. I don't know why, but so good for you. You outdid the host. Anyways, hi to Joanne, and you have a good weekend, Adolf.
Is your restaurant still got open or whatever?
It's open. Well, it's takeout. We're still working with McDonald's, and we have different laws in different areas. We're really not allowed to open here in Rolla, and we're trying to figure out what we can do and how we're going to do it via McDonald's guidelines and the officials. So we're fine. Right. We're doing business. So
okay.
Anyways, thanks, Adolf. Hi to Joanne. Lisa.
Maybe we'll see you at McDonald's.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay.
In the drive-through line.
Okay.
All right.
Take care, my friend.
See ya.
Okay, we've got coming up. We've got Elad Hakim. We're going to be talking about a lot of legal stuff, and that should be interesting because you had some Supreme Court decisions that didn't go exactly the White House's way, and Donald Trump is very ticked off about some of these. And then we've got, coming up, Seinfeld 3 Squares, but I think we have a caller right now.
Yep, we got to get a break in here real soon, too.
Yeah, I'm going to get a break in. Don't worry. Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Ooh, hello. Hi. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dave. JL.
Hey, JL.
James.
How you doing, buddy?
Sorry, I'm doing fine. Thank you, Dave. So, listen, I got to do something, but I wanted to call in and tell you about these. I'm sorry, not tell you, explain to you my situation about this racist thing.
Yeah.
And it basically is the same as everybody else. It's bull. It's not deserved. How many policemen do we have to kill because of one black person? You know what I mean? We've lost over 8 policemen already.
Well, neither one is justified. Let's put it that
neither
way.
one.
Neither one is
You're
justified. The way that one guy was killed. Now, I'm not so sure about the second guy. To me, it was clear that the officer was doing his job. I mean, you might not like him, but, the guy was drunk. He was holding up a drive-through, and they got to arrest him, I think. I think if you have a drunk driver like that, what's to stop this guy from, even if you take his keys, to going home and getting his keys and coming back? I mean, you got to arrest a guy like that, and I hate to say that, too.
Well, yeah, I do.
I don't know what else you could have done with the guy.
It's the truth, and I'm very concerned as to what is happening, and I do not believe the polls about that.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a little credibility in them, although I hate to give Karl Rove any credibility, but I think there's a trend forming, and I think that needs to be stopped. But if it came down to today, I still say Donald Trump gets elected, maybe in a landslide.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so.
me
Listen,
too.
Dave, my next door neighbor's leaving, and they come and ask me if I'd mow their lawn. But before I go, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
What is a shark's favorite sandwich?
A shark's favorite sandwich, peanut butter and penguin? I don't know.
Peanut butter and jellyfish.
You were close. There you go.
And you, who probably wasn't listening, a previous caller called you out by your joke, decaffeinated joke, which I thought sucked, and he thought it was the funniest thing he ever heard.
I was listening, Dave. I listen to you all the time through the whole show.
You're a
But
good
today,
guy.
I do not get to today. I've got to go get on my lawn
All right,
more
well,
for my neighbor.
get your butt moving and do your job. Do your job.
God bless you
Never
guys.
let
Have
it
a
be
great
said
weekend.
that I take the broom out of your hands when you're trying to do your job. Never let that be said. Thank you, JL. Have a great
thank you,
weekend.
Dave.
Anytime.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, yes, we're going to take a break. Yes, let's take a break. Call the show, 573-364-4433. Get it off your chest.
Owning a business can be tough, and knowing what insurance you need can be confusing. Help is here with the Daniel & Henry Company. Daniel & Henry Company is an independent insurance broker providing a full range of risk management and insurance products and services for clients locally, nationally, and internationally. They find cost-effective solutions for your business and personal needs, from work comp, general liability, property and auto, and all points in between. Protecting your business is their business. Call Richard Boyette at the Daniel & Henry Company today, 314-444-5011.
Make the whole family happy by bringing home Lee's famous recipe chicken. Choose from one of our many different specials, like the 16-piece classic or breast strip family meal, to the 8 different daily lunch specials. Call today for your next catering at 573-364-9330 or visit us on the web at leesrolla.com or just stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Rolla at 1902 North Bishop Avenue.
Welcome to the greatest rock and roll show on earth. Tonight's feature is Melrose Asphalt and Quarry, featuring their greatest hits, guaranteed low prices, guaranteed work, and their #1 hit, locally owned and operated. So call and get your tickets to the greatest rock and roll show on earth. Melrose Asphalt and Quarry, 364-9101. That's 364-9101. Melrose Asphalt is a local business and not an actual rock band.
Lavish Day Spa is the place to get rid of all your stress and worries. We are a full-service spa and salon. I myself specialize in deep tissue massages. My favorite client is my father, Dave Weinbaum. Call 364-0905 to set your relief from pain and strain. That number again is 364-0905. Lavish Day Spa.
If you're in the food business and your walk-in cooler quits, do you think you can call just any heating and refrigeration guy to fix it? Think again. Time is money, and you don't want to have to wait while an air conditioner repairman tries to figure out what's wrong. At Cox Brothers, food equipment repair is who we are. We have the specialized training and know-how to protect your expensive and fragile inventory while we repair your broken equipment. When you need food service repairs, go right to the experts. Cox Brothers Food Equipment Repair in St. James. We'll keep the hot side hot and the cold side cold.
It's been over 35 years since Muffler Mart has opened their doors. Marty, Keith, and Carl combined have over 120 years of auto experience. The name says Muffler Mart, but they do it all. Thousands of customers have done business with Muffler Mart because they do what they say they're going to do. Woo! The next time you need work on your vehicle, head to Muffler Mart on Highway 63 South, across from Phelps County Fairgrounds in Rolla. For appointments, call 364-5434. That's 364-5434. Muffler Mart in Rolla.
Sydney's in downtown Rolla invites you in on Wednesday for delicious chicken fried chicken and chicken parmesan and freshly sliced chicken strips. And at Sydney's, Thursday is Burger Day, fresh ground each day. And Friday for lunch, they'll have meatloaf with homemade chips. And Friday night is steak night. Get a 16-ounce ribeye with 2 sides. Delicious food and great service at Sydney's, 707 North Pine in downtown Rolla. Open daily at 11 a.m., closed Sunday. Call for a pickup order or a reservation, 426-3707. That's 426-3707. Sydney's. Look, like, and share on Facebook.
This is Rick Miller at Null & Son Funeral Home in Rolla. Since 1924, Null & Son Funeral Home has had the honor of serving families throughout Phelps County. Today, families can select a funeral service, burial, or cremation and have it tailored to fit their specific needs in order to honor the memory of their loved one in a personal and meaningful way. At Null & Son Funeral Home, we offer information that will help you make decisions that are just right for you and your family.
Follow me at daveweinbaum.net, at the Dave Weinbaum on Twitter, and streaming live on the Dave Weinbaum Show Facebook page.
Part of the leaks, I think, was to muddy up names in the Trump administration or the Trump campaign. For example, Carter Page told us on this program that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he starts getting all these phone calls from the press. Why? Because they started leaking that Carter Page had funny dealings with Russians. And so that started its own, narrative in the press. And I just want to point out that all of these years later, Carter Page was never charged. So for a year, he was surveilled unlawfully, wiretaps so that they could get into the Trump campaign. And 4 years later, 3.5 years later, Senator, there's no charges on Carter Page.
No, Maria, what's really interesting, if you compare the investigation into Hillary Clinton's email scandal, that was not an investigation really designed to uncover the truth to lead to prosecutions. It was really an investigation designed to cover up the truth.
That was Maria Bartiromo, and Senator Johnson from Wisconsin, who is investigating along with Lindsey Graham via the Congress, Lindsey Graham having subpoenaed over 50 people from the Obama administration, including people like Brennan and Rice and others. Too bad he didn't subpoena Obama and Biden, who also would be indicative of that. But I think, I'm not sure, but hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dave, it's Elad.
You know what? I figured you'd be early because I'm pretty sure Dr. Amy is there yelling at you, call him now. Am I wrong?
You are wrong.
Okay, all right.
This
Well,
is all me. This
congratulations.
is just the anticipation.
Oh, all right. Well, let's play your little song so you don't get upset. There we go. Powerhouse South Florida lawyer, expert on law and politics, published in the Federalist, Epic News, the Washington Examiner, the Daily Caller, and he is the Perry Mason to the Dave Weinbaum Show. Please welcome, all the way from Boca Raton, Elad Hakim. Oh, my goodness. Whoa, that's Amy levels. What's going on? What is going? That's Amers levels right there. Hey, so the Federalist, which you write for sometimes, has been banned or demonetized by Google. Your thoughts?
Well, it's in line with what we've seen in the past by different various social media companies or groups. I mean, we've seen it with Twitter, we've seen it with Facebook, so now Google is doing it. And are you surprised? I mean, really, are you surprised? It's a common theme now. It's the censorship of various conservative voices, and it's shameful. I mean,
well,
it's
Josh
shameful.
Hawley now has a bill that he's making, and it could be bipartisan. Pocahontas Warren also wants to deregulate to the extent that these companies be at least suable for this kind of banning, this kind of favoritism for one side or the other. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a step in the right direction. I think you have to be careful with the way, well, the banning, yes, but I think it's a double-edged sword. When Trump issued his recent executive order, you've got to be careful because you may be in a position where they start being much more careful with what they permit. So not banning, but some of the stuff that that Trump writes and some other people write may be prohibited from actually being written. So, in other words, you have to be careful by taking it too extreme to one level or another. But clearly, there has to be something where these companies are held accountable for viewpoint discrimination, which is basically what it is. They're discriminating against conservative voices and turning a blind eye or permitting voices on the left that are equally as bad or worse than what they're purporting the right to be.
Facebook just banned Trump ads on Facebook, political ads. Can you believe that?
Of course I believe it.
All right.
What they say, that it was inciting violence or something to that extent. So, yeah, listen, like you said, and that's what Trump was getting at, you need to be able to get after these companies for basically viewpoint discrimination. They're discriminating against conservatives, and right now they're untouchable. Hopefully in the future that becomes less of a concern and less of an obstacle in cases where it's blatant like it is now.
If both me and a Black Lives Matter guy walked in with a Black Lives Matter hat, him with that, and me with a MAGA hat into a, let's say, a reasonably fair audience of at a restaurant or something, who do you think would get attacked?
Well, I think it depends where. I mean,
well, I said a fairly, between liberals and conservatives. See, conservatives aren't going to attack physically Black Lives Matter.
No, I mean, I think you're talking the Trump supporter.
Liberals
the Trump supporter is
will
going to
go
get attacked.
after. Exactly my point.
The
Okay,
Trump
exactly.
supporter is going to be attacked because, like you said, the response to, I mean, it goes back to the whole triggered issue. The left is now triggered. They have Trump derangement syndrome. They don't know how to handle it, and they are acting out in violent in a violent way. And whether it's setting buildings on fire, whether it's creating autonomous zones like they do in Seattle, or whether it's having physical altercations with Trump supporters, with a person, for example, who's creating graffiti art, or you're a police officer trying to do your job. Sadly, that's the state of the world we live in.
We got it.
And it doesn't help that we have people in government that don't stand up to this.
Georgia charges Officer Ralph and his partner Bronson. They charges Ralph. This is the AG of Georgia, I guess it is, or prosecuting attorney.
Yeah.
With a death penalty murder charge. Ralph was fired the night of the occurrence, and he claims that he was kicking the man when he was down, and his partner was going to testify against him. There are lots of witnesses, lots of film, lots of pictures, and he was obviously, this guy did not want to be arrested. So he fought back, and he fought them both and got a hold of a gun, a taser gun, and it sure as hell looked like to me that these taser guns, which even this prosecutor said a week earlier were deadly weapons, that he was aiming it, if not shooting it, at this officer who was chasing him. There's no grand jury, no investigation. The mayor called it murder, fires the cop, forced the resignation of the police chief. Where's the due process? Atlanta has a 58% police force of blacks. 58% of the police force in Atlanta are blacks. What is this?
Yeah, can you bring up a great point about your last point? 58%. They talk about. Look, let's preface it by saying we don't know all the facts, right? But based on what we do know, this is. It doesn't even seem like the officer should have been charged. Okay, let alone charged for murder. And you hear people like Geraldo saying manslaughter. That also doesn't sound plausible. But this appears to be a byproduct of the politically charged and racially charged environment that we're living in now. And this is clearly, if you look at the video, this is not a George incident. This is an incident, like you said, where the guy was resisting arrest. From what I heard, I think one of the attorneys for the cops said one of the cops had a concussion because the guy, flipped him over and then he hit his head on the floor. Mm-hmm. And then he took his taser. The guy was running away. It's spur of the moment, heat of the moment. You don't know what he has. And the officer shot. And Geraldo's claim, by the way, that the guy was shot in the back, and that shows that he wasn't a threat. That's nonsense. I don't know if you've heard Dan Bongino talk about it. Yes. But he went ballistic on Geraldo for such a suggestion. Yeah. So this appears to be politically motivated. And what's ironic is the fact that you brought up that 58% of it's a 58% black population there. So you've got people in power who are black. Yeah. So it doesn't appear that race doesn't appear to be as much an issue there, or racial divide. And this is a travesty. Based on the facts that have come out so far, this is a travesty. And
do you think if this was a black officer who did exactly the same thing to this black person who was resisting arrest, that we would have heard a peep about this? Now, Steve wants to ask a question when you get done answering.
Or the exact opposite. What if the guy was a white guy? Yeah. And the officers, pulled him out of his car, tried to arrest him.
It's sad to say. It's sad to say, but I don't think it would get the same recognition. It is sadly politicized. Listen, look what's happening. Now we have Aunt Jemima changing. We have Uncle Ben's changing. We have Florida Gator Chop or Gator Chomp changing. I just wrote a piece on it. Our level of political correctness that is being subjectively determined and guided by those on the left, and our level of what is deemed offensive or sexist or racist has reached a point now where it's simply you can't comply with it. It's not understandable. It's completely subjective. And it's killing our right, it's eroding our right of expression. And it's now evolved and metastasized to the police force. Police can't even do their jobs in fear of being sued or labeled as racist. I mean, they're losing their jobs. This guy lost his job and was arrested and charged with murder for defending himself.
Death sentence.
That's
murder.
where we've gotten.
Death sentence.
That is where we've gotten.
So is Georgia a stand your ground state? I know Missouri.
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know the law in Georgia.
Okay.
But the fact that he was charged with felony murder, that basically means that you don't even have to commit. If somebody dies during the course of a felony, then you can be charged with felony murder. And in this case, not only is it punishable by life, but I think in Georgia it's punishable by death.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, if they choose to pursue that, which there's no way this is a death penalty case. It's not even a murder case. But if they choose to pursue that, an officer that was attacked by a fleeing felon, who subsequently tried to shoot him with the taser, is being charged now with capital murder potentially. Felony murder?
They're going to
think about the ludicrousy of that.
Well, they're going to lose all the police. Who wants
and
to
they
be
are.
a policeman these days?
Police are calling in sick.
Okay,
officers are calling in sick. What do they call it? The blue flu?
Yeah.
Well, okay, think about it. They tried to defund the police, and that didn't work. They're not going to do that.
That ain't over yet.
So now, but now there unfortunately, right now in your right mind, do you really want to be a police officer, knowing the consequences that could happen for you doing your job?
That's exactly right. And you've got all these people out there giving their opinions. But, Dan Bongino said it best, and it applies to a lot of different areas. If you're not a cop and you've never lived the life of a cop, don't talk. Okay, you don't know what it's like. Okay, you don't know what it's like to have to sit there and worry. You don't know if a person's going to try to kill you, try to injure you. You don't know what it's like at the spur of the moment, the heat of the moment. So, he's gotten frustrated, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
It's the same people, for example, who have been in the military.
Right.
No one knows what it's like to be in the military in the midst of a war unless you've been there. So, you've got all these people, you shouldn't have shot him. Well, how do you know? The guy's running away, he's a felon, he stole a taser, and he turns around and shoots it.
Yeah, at you.
So, it's really easy to say after the fact, the cop shouldn't have shot him.
Well, let's say he connected with this cop and either killed him or disabled him. So what's to stop this guy from turning around and going to his holster, grabbing his gun, and shooting him dead? Shooting the cop dead.
Listen, I'm not arguing with you. I agree with you 100%. And it's not even if I understand correctly, I thought I saw something on TV, it's not even a threat of death. The use of deadly force, you don't even have to worry about death. It's injury, bodily injury, serious injury.
Sure.
And if the guy turns around and the cop is afraid and worried as he's chasing a felon of his life or being injured or someone else being injured, then he did what he had to do.
Well, yeah. Then
I don't know what people expect. I don't know if do people expect him to press the pause button?
Did he really have an option,
or just let him run away?
Did he really have an option not to arrest this guy? I wonder. I mean, everybody said, well, you know what? You could have taken his keys and made him walk home. Okay,
but
what does that have to
do?
I don't know.
What does that have to do with what transpired afterwards?
That's what they're saying. This is what the prosecuting attorney is saying. Well, they had a really nice conversation.
Wasn't it Denzel
It was jovial.
Washington?
Huh?
Well, it was just in Denzel Washington.
You had a choice, exactly.
Right. Oh, okay.
See how the show ties in, Steve?
Well, I know.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
I'm just saying,
But assume if the officer had the right to arrest them, which it seems like he did, then what happened afterwards is important. It doesn't matter if he didn't have to arrest them.
Right.
That does not give this person the right to resist arrest and then to subsequently steal the guy's taser and to shoot it at the cop.
All right, let's go on to
so
another
that's
subject.
a losing argument.
Supreme Court decisions LBGT discrimination versus biological men competing with women. Okay, sharing bathrooms, sharing locker rooms and showers. And it goes towards the LBGT. So what's going on with this? This is crazy, isn't it?
This opinion really, I have to tell you, I was really looking forward to this opinion, and this opinion really irked me because, I think it's one thing when you talk about, the gay community versus the transgender community. I understand, discrimination should be prohibited against, sexual orientation, but when it comes to transgender, I think that the court shouldn't have interfered as far as determining the definition of sex, and in essence, that's what the court did. The court, any way it wants to say it, defined sex and now prohibited discrimination, prohibited employers from firing people because of their transgender status. And the implications here, I don't know if you saw it, but I think there was a letter written by a number of Democrats asking now the Department of Education to reconsider its opinion when it comes to Title IX. And Title IX deals with funding for school sports and stuff like that, and how it can't be discriminatory, and that it's revolving around a case that's filed about transgender athletes. I think it's in track and field where males who are transitioning to females or something like that are competing with biological females,
right,
and in some cases taking their spots. And this is competitive.
They're beating them because of the fact they're biological males.
But because of the definition now of sex,
right,
and because sex could include now your choice, okay, however you identify, that could trickle down and create a problem in other aspects, including this Title IX issue.
All right.
So it's a problem.
Let me cover the next Supreme Court. Do you have something to add to that, Steve?
You know what? I mean, you were born either a male or a female, period. That's the way I feel about it.
This is future Supreme Court Justice Steve Wheeler.
No, I just...
The Honorable Steve Wheeler. There you go.
I just...
All right. Congratulations.
My mind cannot comprehend
Just say
that.
Thank you, Mr. Weinbaum, and go on with your thing.
Thank you, Mr. Weinbaum.
You're welcome. Hey, Supreme Court's another one here. Will not drop DACA as Trump asks. So you got one executive order by Obama and another one by Trump, and they don't kill Obama's, but they kill Trump's. As Tom Cotton said, John Roberts, the head of the Supreme Court, should resign and run for office if he wants to be a political guy. What do you think?
Yeah, this one has left a lot of people scratching their heads. I don't know. I don't know where Roberts was coming from on this. It was illegal from the inception.
Yeah.
In essence, Roberts. I haven't read the opinion yet.
Well,
but
Roberts did the same thing with Obamacare. Remember when Obamacare was going to be a tax, and he overruled it because he didn't want it was political and all that stuff.
But if I remember correctly, it was also with the census issue. So it's unfortunately it's a recurrent theme, and this shows you why we need originalists on the Supreme Court. This is exactly why we need originalists. And if Trump is elected, reelected, he may have the chance to elect more justices. Who knows? I mean, who knows how long Ginsburg will be around? But this is exactly why.
All right, hey,
Robert, this decision in DACA basically said that an illegal executive order. It confirmed an illegal executive order.
Yeah.
And that is it doesn't make any sense.
No, not at all. So the Supreme Court is going nuts, I think. Hey, other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and hire you?
They can find me at Thoughtfully Conservative on Facebook and at Thoughtful GOP on Twitter, and then just look me up, Elad Hakim, if you have any legal type questions or legal-related questions.
We were talking about Aunt Jemima, and she obviously was canceled because of the slave intimidation that somehow she represented slaves. Well, I hear that Aunt Jemima is going to be replaced by Moses. The pancakes will be unleavened dough, and the syrup will be pure honey. Ladies and gentlemen, Elad Hakim, only a Jewish guy would get that, right?
Yeah.
Moses, remember Moses?
I don't know.
Was
If I answer that, I'm going to be deemed
what? A Jew?
So I'm not
there,
answering
buddy.
that.
You're already there. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Shabbat
guys.
shalom,
Have a good
friend.
weekend.
You too.
And Happy Father's Day to all you guys.
Throw the phone at Amy. Don't actually hit her, but throw the phone at her. She'll be on in 10 minutes. All right. Thank you so much.
I'll have her call in. Thanks,
I
guys.
will know that she will be on time. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Thanks. All right. I think we need to do one more thing, and because we're way behind in this. And I think we ought to do, I think we ought to do the Animal House one, because you know what? We need that. We need to be fired up. We need to be
Nothing is
fired
over
up.
until we decide it is.
Yeah.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German? Forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Who's with me? Let's go! Come on! Ah! Where's the spirit? Where's the guts? Huh? This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst. Oh, we're afraid to go with you, Pluto. We might get in trouble. Well, just kiss my ass from now on! Not me! I'm not gonna take this! Warmer, he's a dead man! Marmalade, dead! Niedermeyer, dead! Pluto's right. Psychotic, but absolutely right. We gotta take these bastards. Now, we could fight them with conventional weapons. That could take years and cost millions of lives. No. No, in this case, I think we have to go all out. I think this situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part. We're just the guys to do it. Let's do it. Let's do
Oh, yeah. I get motivated by that.
Come
Don't
on.
you? Does anyone else? Okay, it's a little funny.
Right.
It's
really
a little funny. All right, we'll take a break right now. But let me just say this. Yesterday in drive-thru, I do a little stand-up comedy with the people there. I try to give them a joke if they want it. And, I move most of them along. And so I'm having a ball with some guy in a truck. And I don't want to say SOB because he's a customer, okay? But he gets to the pay window
You don't have to say
and
it.
realizes that he was laughing so hard he forgot to order. He held up the whole drive-thru, and I have sort of like mixed feelings about that.
Well, that
'cause
was your fault.
I got him hysterical,
Right?
And everyone blamed me, and I accept the blame.
Yep.
How do you know somebody's going to get so hysterical that they forgot to order? Okay, did you ever forget to order in the drive-thru?
Well, you know what? That would constitute a free meal out of your pocket, if you ask me.
Oh, no, it's not. He should be buying me a free meal. He held up my drive-thru. Anyways, we're going to take a break right now. Call the show. You can see we have fun here, right? Come on. Call the show, 573-364-4433. Get it off your chest.
Price Chopper in Rolla for the best quality products and the freshest produce in the area. With a full-service deli, bakery, and butcher cafe, you can feed the whole family with ease. Cold cuts to sushi, barbecue, and a huge salad bar. Kick back and relax, and enjoy your lunch in our dining room, located in Forum Plaza on Forum Drive in Rolla. Don't forget to sign up for a rewards program and save money on groceries today. For orders and catering, give them a call today at 573-364-1771. Open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Price Chopper in Rolla.
The Akar Real Estate sign in the yard is your first step to sold. Whether buying or selling, put the best team of realtors to work for you. Akar Real Estate is the top-selling real estate agency in 4 counties. They work diligently to make your real estate transactions happen. Independently owned and operated for over 12 years by Delek Akar, broker-owner. When you want results that move you, call the professionals at Akar Real Estate at 368-SELL. That's Akar Real Estate at 368-7355.
Sales results obtained from Maris Incorporated.
Why settle for the forecast when you can control it? Hartley's Climate Control is your locally owned heating, air conditioning, plus so much more company. Hartley's offers residential and commercial sales, service, and installation in the areas of heating and cooling, hearth and home, handyman services, and more to the Rolla, St. James, and surrounding areas. Call 573-368-3163 or visit them online at www.hartleyscc.com. Hartley's Climate Control, community born, community raised, community serving.
Every business needs just the right sign to get people into your business. Missouri Neon Outdoor is here to help. Missouri Neon Outdoor has been family-owned and serving the Ozarks for 80 years. Outdoor advertising remains one of the most cost-effective ways for businesses to build awareness and drive customers to their door. And they offer billboard coverage in over 25 counties in southwest Missouri. Missouri Neon Outdoor has an expert creative staff that can design a great look for you. Call today for available locations in your area. 1-800-788-1778.
Owning a business can be tough, and knowing what insurance you need can be confusing. Help is here with the Daniel & Henry Company. Daniel & Henry Company is an independent insurance broker providing a full range of risk management and insurance products and services for clients locally, nationally, and internationally. They find cost-effective solutions for your business and personal needs, from work comp, general liability, property and auto, and all points in between. Protecting your business is their business. Call Richard Boyette at the Daniel & Henry Company today, 314-444-5011.
Shop, click, and drive. Getting a new Chevy is easy at Fairground Auto Plaza in Rolla. Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on all new 2020 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew Cabs with GM financing or $5,500 cash allowance. Fairground Auto Plaza is making your new vehicle purchase easier than ever. Just shop, click, and drive. Visit Fairground Auto Plaza online or in person at 100 Fairgrounds Road in Rolla. Chevy, find new roads.
Follow me at daveweinbaum.net, at the Dave Weinbaum on Twitter, and streaming live on the Dave Weinbaum Show Facebook page.
During that transition, when Trump was fully in place, there were 125 leaks during the first 126 days of the administration. When you compare that to the Obama first 126 days, there were 8 leaks, 8 versus 125. Bush, 9 leaks versus 125. Leaking classified data is a felony, right?
Totally, and Senator Ron Johnson is doing a really great job. So is Senator Grassley. They're really focused on trying to get to the truth. I think that transition period is key. And it's why once Donald Trump won the election in 2016, all the way through to Inauguration Day, that period of time is when we know who is coming into the White House. We know the team like General Flynn and his team and President Trump. That's when we're supposed to have the Obama administration or the current administration begin to hand off and have a transition time.
That was Rick Grenell, who was recently appointed the intermediate DNI, Director of National Intelligence. Now he's been replaced by former Representative John Ratcliffe, who was, I think, excellent. And this is the guy that really brought to the public surface all these maskings and unmaskings and things like that were previously... they were quarantined, let's say, as special information. I forget what you call that, but this guy got them revealed. And where was our current FBI director, Ray? What the hell? Why was he helping keep them hidden? So we've made some progress. We know these guys are dirty now. We know that Obama was dirty. We know that Biden was on this list. Susan Rice, a whole bunch of them were on this list, and they helped unmask people to get into the Trump campaign during the transition period after the election, but before Trump actually took office. And that's how they got Flynn. They got Flynn he copped to a plea of guilty to save himself from bankruptcy and his son from getting thrown in jail somehow also. But they didn't have a case. They didn't have a case as of July 4th. On July 5th, they were sending guys out per Comey's orders, okay? And they scared the guy. You never give a statement to a cop. You never give a statement to a friendly FBI guy, any kind of person that has some authority in law or in intel. You never give them a statement without a lawyer, and you better make sure you get a good lawyer too. Okay, right now we got coming up, we got Amy Cooper Hakim But you know what? We have a little time for, how about Seinfeld, 3 Squares? Oh, that's her, isn't it?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is kind of embarrassing, but there's no toilet paper over here. Are you talking to me? Yeah, I just forgot to check, so if you could spare some. No, I'm sorry. What? No, I'm sorry, I can't spare it. You can't spare it? No, there's not enough to spare. Well, I don't need much. Just 3 squares will do it. I'm sorry, I don't have 3 squares now, if you don't mind. 3 squares? You can't spare 3 squares? No, I don't have a square to spare. I can't spare a square. Well, is it 2 ply? Because if it's 2 ply, I'll take 1 ply. 1 ply. 1 puny little ply. I'll take 1 measly ply. Look, I don't have a square and I don't have a ply. No, don't go. I beg you.
Okay, we got a very special guest on, and we're going to play her song. There it is, right there. She wrote this. Well, she sang it. She didn't write it.
Baton Rouge.
All right, I made a mistake.
For a train. I
Good.
was feeling near as faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed a diesel down just before it rained and rode us all the way to New Orleans. I pulled my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana. I was playing soft while Bobby sang the blues, yeah. Windshield wipers slapping time, holding Bobby's hand in mine.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this woman loves all animals. She's an expert on bad bosses, motivational speaker, author, mirror aficionado, singer, and patriot. She's a patient. I'm a
patriot.
No, she's a patriot too. Thank you for correcting me. She's a patriot, yes, and she is. I said you were a writer as to writing this song, and my wife immediately snapped at me. So that's I'm getting picked on here. It's terrible. Anyways. This woman is a shrink to Dave Weinbaum, and Dave Weinbaum Show. Please welcome, all the way from Boca Raton. Let's see who gets bigger applause. Dr. Amy Cooper Hakim. Now, Elad did good, but no, that was bigger. That was much bigger. So, Doctor, in our last session,
you have no worries, Amy.
Doctor, in our last.
Aww.
Okay, can I speak now? In our last session, you wanted help from me in an identity crisis with another Amy Cooper. How do you feel from 1 to 10, 10 being the best?
Now I'm fine. I actually sort of took your advice.
What?
First off, I know. I just needed to put that out there.
You did, really?
But when we spoke,
Yeah.
we didn't speak last week. We spoke 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And so at that point, I had only just deleted negative comments. So I actually, unfortunately, had to, on all of my videos on YouTube, and I have maybe 50, I had to take off the comments and take off the likes because people were going in and where, it's fine if someone doesn't like what I say, but if they're just putting a dislike just to cause problems for me. So anyway, that's what happened. I had, let's say one day I might have had 50 likes, and all of a sudden I have, 50 dislikes and then 50 likes. So it was just, and nasty stuff, messages that were just really, really yucky, calling me a racist slut and a piece of beep and, stuff like that. That just, really, really bad. So at that point, I had just, responded or eliminated, however appropriate. But I got a really seriously disgusting message, and they didn't even allow me to reply. There's some way that you can use technology to anonymously say something and then not even own up to being that person. Yep. So I actually posted something on Facebook on my professional page, and I tried to be, true to who I am, and I didn't, highlight this other Amy Cooper. I just said that, it's not something that, I'm sad to report that this is what's going on. And I also shared what this anonymous person wrote about me.
Good.
And I was careful, the way that I presented it, but I will say since I did that, I have not received any additional negative comments.
Yeah, it's
so hopefully it's stopped. Yeah.
You're dealing with bullies, okay? Bullies will watch your reaction, and if you don't react, they'll take that as weakness, and they'll just do more. And if you eventually,
and you and I disagree.
Yeah.
You and I disagree on that a little bit in general in the workplace, and that was why I was trying to stand true to me. Right. And I do think that we should stand up for ourselves, but I think that there's some times where it's not worth it. So, I work, in addition to consulting practice, I also teach online. Mm-hmm. And there is a person who happens to be very nice one-on-one, but for whatever reason, he comes across in a bullyish type of manner. And I don't care to interact with him professionally unless I need to. And if I wanted to pursue it and cause problems, it literally would create a whole escalade of issues that wouldn't make me feel good. Yeah. I could choose, to say, is it worth it for me, or might I come up with an alternative, perhaps only interacting when necessary because this person doesn't directly relate to me or my job. So I think that there are certain times where we choose our battles. And in this instance, what was said was just honestly to the point where I couldn't continue to wake up hearing these truly nasty comments made about me and my family, and they were completely unwarranted. But it was, you are a terrible human being. I hope you feel truly ashamed and should have been charged for crimes against humanity. What terrible individuals your parents must be for raising such a piece of racist blank.
There you go. Now you still have a little over 5 minutes on the clock. Are there any other problems that you want me to help you with?
God. I just legitimately, how serious I am about keeping politics out of the workplace, about, recognizing the importance of, right? I am almost to the point of changing my standards.
Ooh.
I will still hold. I know. I need to be so happy. Okay.
I don't know what you mean by that.
When the whole. No, okay. Well, what I mean is that I think that we have to remember that we still choose our battles, and I don't think that we should make workplace political, particularly unless you work in a political environment or run a political, radio show like you do. Then obviously that's completely appropriate and necessary.
Yeah, I avoid it in business.
For fear,
sure.
Right. For fear of causing problems, I think that some people are choosing not to speak up, even if it is to say, let's not talk about this, let's continue with our business. I think some people are even afraid to do that. What's going on in the news and the true liberal bias is to the point that it's making me uncomfortable, and I'm one who chooses not to discuss it. So it's,
well, if you want to break that pledge, this is the place to do it right here, Dr. Amy. We'll help you through the pain. Steve will say nice things to you. My wife will say nice things.
Hey, Amer,
You know my story, don't you?
Amer,
at one point I was listening to something after the fact, and how you were mentioning that I was liberal and stuff, and then Elad told you no. I mean, I'm really not.
Well, it seems like most people that don't want to talk about stuff, including my daughter Amy, by the way, I have a daughter Amy too. Don't get mixed up with her either. Don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about anything in politics, God forbid. So I kind of made the jump incorrectly, which I apologize for, because as a person like you, a professional therapist, I like to think that I have everything reasoned out. Now, Steve, you were going to say.
Well, I'm a lot like you. Until I really sat down and started listening to Dave's show, I was always, listening to my dad, because my dad and Dave were a lot alike, and I just kind of, quote unquote, Dave calls me an old hippie. Okay, so we'll just go with that flow,
That's what you are.
Okay,
and I can live with that.
I think
all right.
it's okay. Yeah, but we live in a free country where we are permitted to have
Exactly.
various opinions, whether they be liberal or conservative. But when we are told that we are not permitted to have our opinion unless it is of the liberal mentality, then that's where my dukes go up.
Right.
And I actually became a card-carrying Republican. I was an independent up until then.
Really?
At least I
Wow.
thought I was. I was actually registered Democrat,
Was this,
but that's a whole
was
other
this
story.
a-
But
you were? Was this after you started appearing on my show?
Yes, but not because of you, Dave. Don't go home and say, "Oh, I did this."
Hello,
no.
America.
I actually,
one at a time,
I
we're gonna
actually
convert 'em.
officially changed.
He's knocking that shoulder
I
out. He's
officially
knocking that
became
shoulder
a
out.
Republican. I officially became a Republican during the Kavanaugh hearing.
Yeah,
That
all
to
right.
me, that was enough. I just couldn't do it anymore. That was I said, you know what? I need to stand true to who I am. And I've always voted as I wish based on whatever candidate I thought was best, not based on a particular party. I don't just go down the line and go one way or the other. And I truly thought I was registered independent. And that even gets to the way that, that there are certain liberal tendencies.
Sure.
I went to the library to register when I was, of age, and I said I wanted to be independent, and I never looked at my card because I am not politically oriented as much, right?
Yeah.
I literally thought I was independent, and it says I'm a Democrat.
Wow.
So no longer. I now have a Republican, and but I actually needed to do that for my own.
Well, you know what it sounds like to me?
You're
You're very
comfortable associating that.
You're a very, very intelligent, smart woman in your field. But I think you need a good lawyer. Do you know any?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just in
yes,
case.
I do, and I love letting Elad take the lead with stuff like this because he researches. He doesn't just
Exactly.
go with his gut. He actually can speak in an intelligent and thoughtful manner about these topics.
There you go.
And so I think, though, that many of us are emotionally driven when we make certain decisions like this. And I think that's why, I could predict what will happen during the election, but
Now,
I think you'll be happy.
Let me just say, in my practice, I have a woman that works for me, and if you call her, please, for another appointment, please call Helen Waite, okay, for your next appointment. All right, so should I say that one more time? Please call Helen Waite. Steve doesn't get it. My wife doesn't get it. Oy vey. Anyways, all right. So, who said it's always a treat to be on your show? Who said that?
I'm glad you saw that. It is always a treat. I love talking
why?
to you.
I don't understand it. I don't like myself half the time. My wife hates me half the time.
No,
Steve hates me half the time.
First of all,
I don't understand. Why
get
do you
my
like the show?
exercise in.
Huh?
I get my exercise in while I'm walking and talking. So
You're
that's
pacing,
number one.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pacing. I love that we can have, honest dialogue, and I like the questions you ask me and all that good stuff. So.
Well, that's very kind. Okay, that's so kind of you. Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and hire you?
Thank you. You can locate all my information on CooperStrategicGroup.com or AmyCooperHakim.com. My book, Working with Difficult People, is sold anywhere books are sold. It's also on ebook and in audio format. And I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, partially, at Amy Cooper Hakim.
Hey, Dr. Amy, how do you slow down big birds?
How?
Goosebumps? Goosebumps?
Ah, that's cute.
Thank you. See, I do jokes that you can tell the kids, even Elad.
I like
Even
the
Elad, all right.
Yeah.
Dr. Amy, thank you so much for being a star in the Dave Weinbaum Show. I do appreciate you and Elad somewhat. So Shabbat Shalom, my friend, to you, Elad, and the kids.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, man. Is she a hoot or what?
Absolutely.
I mean, how do you get a 5-year or so relationship with somebody who's comes off as a bad boss expert?
Right.
Right?
Right. There you go.
Now my wife over here is a bad boss expert because she lives with who?
And worked for.
And worked for who? Me.
The bad boss.
Of course, I don't remember her. She could be making all this up for all I know. Okay, so I don't know what we got here, but how about you know what? We need to be, well, no, not that one. I would suggest, we got the football and baseball season they're talking about. How about George Carlin? What do you think about him?
In football, the object is for the quarterback, otherwise known as the field general, to be on target with his aerial assault, riddling the defense by hitting his receivers with deadly accuracy, in spite of the blitz, even if he has to use the shotgun. With short bullet passes and long bombs, he marches his troops into enemy territory, balancing this aerial assault with a sustained ground attack which punches holes in the forward wall of the enemy's defensive line. In baseball, the object is to go home and to be safe. I hope I'll be safe at home. Safe at home.
Now, that's George Carlin, who was funny. A funny thing happened to me, though, on about football. I was at a golf tournament in St. Louis long about the late 90s when Dick Vermeil was hired as the coach of the Los Angeles Rams. He was in this golf tournament. I don't know him from Adam. It was after the tournament. I was changing shoes, getting ready to go to the event after the golf, the meal and the speeches and all that stuff. He comes up to me. He's got tears in his eyes. Dick Vermeil, football coach, head football coach, already been to a Super Bowl with Philadelphia back in about 1980. I mean, he's almost crying, and he starts talking to me. And it's just me and him. He says, I don't know what I'm going to do. What's the guy's name? It was Ty Green or something like that. He hurt himself. He says, well, Green's out for the season, and I got this new guy, Kurt Warner. I don't know what I'm going to do. I says, Coach, it's August. It's August. You don't have to do anything. Just give the guy a chance, see what happens. Went on to win a Super Bowl.
There you go.
Do I deserve credit for that?
Yes.
No. Did I get a Super Bowl ring? No.
Yes. Should you have got one? No.
Yes. That's 3 times we disagreed. All right. Do I have a caller?
Yes.
Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. I hope you have a sad a story as that. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Brian from never mind.
Oh, my God. They all know where you're at, for goodness sakes. Okay.
No, I actually did move, and I'm playing games by not telling people.
Really?
Anyway.
What are you hiding from?
I'm not hiding from anybody.
Okay.
Just playing games.
Program.
I had an observation about this police brutality problem.
Yes.
Now, I'm assuming there's police brutality just about everywhere, but it probably is a whole lot worse in the liberal neighborhoods or liberal areas where human life does not matter, because they'll kill a baby. I mean, they're killing black babies at a higher rate than they're born alive. So if they don't treasure black lives when they're little, do you really think they're going to treasure black lives when they're grown up? I highly doubt it.
Well, you got a lot of black-on-black murders in the hoods. You got people who are rioting right now because of the murder of Floyd and the killing of this other gentleman. I can't remember his name right now, but both of these guys were killed, and then they're rioting and killing other blacks on blacks. They're looting their businesses. It makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. It just doesn't make sense.
Let me make sure I understand that second police killing correctly. Isn't that the one where he was doing just fine, he was being respectful to the cops,
right,
and then all at once they tried to handcuff him, and he blew up and stole the cop's taser, and he got shot in the back, right?
42 minutes. They had a nice conversation with the guy. They saw that he was drunk, and they went to put the cuffs on him, and he exploded. He went crazy.
And did he ever use the taser on the cops?
It sure looked like it. I know once he turned and aimed, and it looked like there was a flash from the thing. So, yeah. I mean,
okay, then I see no problem if you're a fugitive from justice and they're telling you to stop, get down, stop.
They were begging him to stop, begging him. to stop, and he wouldn't do it.
He asked for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
if
think
I
they
were
they would shoot you? They would shoot me. They would shoot Steve, maybe. Steve could weasel his way out of anything, though, probably. So, but seriously, you can't do that.
Brooks.
And I know shooting them in the back is not allowed, but when you have someone like that, I mean, I don't think they really should have shot him in the back, but he's going to get away if they don't, and he's got a nasty weapon.
He turned as he was running to face the cop, to point the weapon at him. Whether he shot it or not, that's enough. You can't let a guy go like that. You got to take him down. Because then he's going out to the public. What's he going to do to somebody in the public? Then you got to concern about that. Not just your life, which is important,
and not just the police's life either. I mean, he could go in there and use that taser on an 80-year-old grandma and kill her with the thing.
Exactly.
So, and he's obviously in a bad state.
The guy knew he was up for he was charged. The guy's got a big rap sheet too. It didn't seem like that.
That doesn't surprise me.
Of course, how do you fall asleep in drive-thru? Did you ever fall asleep in drive-thru?
How do you get to the drive-thru when you're asleep?
Well, asleep and drunk. Steve, did you ever fall asleep in drive-thru?
No, I never have.
Well, I mean, I used to have to unload truck at 4:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So,
So you fell asleep in drive-thrus?
Yes, but we weren't open at the time.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That was at McDonald's, right?
Right,
You used
exactly.
to work for McDonald's.
Right, in the drive-thru.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I will say he deserved it. I mean, shooting him in the back might have been what it took to stop him as he's running away, but the liberal side here is trying to stir up as much hatred as they can between the police and really anybody they can.
Well, and they want to stir it up. They're stirring it up mainly against Donald J. Trump, you see?
And there's another thing they want to do here. What I see them wanting, now I don't know if they'll ever get it or not, but here's what they want to do, and they will get it if we don't stop them. What they want is for there to be so much unrest that the UN has to come in and clean the house.
Oh, yeah.
And restore law and order. And if they come in, we will never get rid of them.
Well, they want a world. They want a one world government, and they want to be the leaders of communist America. They'll probably have to change the name because America is a Spanish name.
Is it really?
Christopher Columbus. That's right. Hey, listen, I got to go, man. I got to do a break, and I really appreciate that you called from nowhere, because we don't know if you exist. This could be a figment of our imagination. Anyways,
well, a figment of your imagination does not get into the transistors in your transmitter nearly as well as you think.
I don't know. I think you're a bot. I think that's what
No, I'm not
I
a
think
bot.
you're a bot. Okay,
No, I am not a robot.
All right.
No, I will say you.
No, I am not a robot. I am not a robot. I am not a robot. Somebody hit him. So he's,
that's
all right. Thanks.
See
all right,
you,
thanks
Brian.
a lot, Brian. Have a great weekend. I appreciate the call.
You too. See you later.
Bye. All right, so we've
He's
got
a very, very smart individual there.
Oh yeah, I like Brian. You know, he's a very, very headstrong guy. I'll tell you that much.
That's right.
And I think we ought to do well. Maybe we should do Sicilian moment number 2. What do you think? Smart people read the fine print. Brilliant people write it. Forget about it. That's why you got to be careful, folks. You read all the stuff on top, and it says the opposite on the bottom. That's why this guy Grinnell, you're going to hear him say it. Read the footnotes. Read the footnotes.
Right.
Okay. Read the small print, or you're going to be sorry, and then you can't forget about it. Okay, we're going to take a break. Call the show 573-364-4433. We're coming back with DeAnna, Lorraine. Get it off your chest.
Let me ask you something, partner. What are you doing for lunch? Surely you can do better than one of those fast food places or something that comes out of a brown bag. Come on over to Colton's Steakhouse and Grill. Lunch can be fun, tasty, affordable, and quick. Colton's has a special lunch menu. Steak, chicken, seafood, salad, sandwiches, and our Montana burger. Plus at lunch you get Colton's famous homemade yeast rolls. Now you got lunch plans. At Colton's, where we know what's at stake.
Colton's Steakhouse in Rolla.
The Akar Real Estate sign in the yard is your first step to sold. Whether buying or selling, put the best team of realtors to work for you. Akar Real Estate is the top-selling real estate agency in 4 counties. They work diligently to make your real estate transactions happen. Independently owned and operated for over 12 years by Delek Akar, broker-owner. When you want results that move you, call the professionals at Akar Real Estate at 368-SELL. That's Akar Real Estate at 368-7355.
Sales results obtained from Maris Incorporated.
Lavish Day Spa is the place to get rid of all your stress and worries. We are a full-service spa and salon. I myself specialize in deep tissue massages. My favorite client is my father, Dave Weinbaum. Call 364-0905 to set your relief from pain and strain. That number again is 364-0905. Lavish Day Spa.
Every business needs just the right sign to get people into your business. Missouri Neon Outdoor is here to help. Missouri Neon Outdoor has been family-owned and serving the Ozarks for 80 years. Outdoor advertising remains one of the most cost-effective ways for businesses to build awareness and drive customers to their door. And they offer billboard coverage in over 25 counties in southwest Missouri. Missouri Neon Outdoor has an expert creative staff that can design a great look for you. Call today for available locations in your area. 1-800-788-1778.
Fixing your computer should be as easy as learning your ABCs, right? Wrong. The easiest way to fix a computer is to take a hammer to it, but that doesn't fix anything. So go back to the ABC basics, or really just the A, like an A1 Tech of Rolla LLC. A1 Tech takes the stress out of repairs for you with quick turnaround on all electronic repairs. With mobile pickup and on-site services, including evening and weekends, A1 Tech will be sure to have you up and running as quickly as possible. Give them a call at 458-9175 or visit A1TechofRolla.com.
Shop, click, and drive. Getting a new Chevy is easy at Fairground Auto Plaza in Rolla. Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on all new 2020 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew Cabs with GM financing or $5,500 cash allowance. Fairground Auto Plaza is making your new vehicle purchase easier than ever. Just shop, click, and drive. Visit Fairground Auto Plaza online or in person at 100 Fairgrounds Road in Rolla. Chevy, find new roads.
This is Rick Miller at Null & Son Funeral Home in Rolla. Since 1924, Null & Son Funeral Home has had the honor of serving families throughout Phelps County. Today, families can select a funeral service, burial, or cremation and have it tailored to fit their specific needs in order to honor the memory of their loved one in a personal and meaningful way. At Null & Son Funeral Home, we offer information that will help you make decisions that are just right for you and your family.
Dear people who haven't had a Big Mac, who saw millions of people enjoying something and said, no thanks. We're not giving up on you, because today is a new day. A day for a burger that has a bun in the middle because it can. A day for a sauce so special they put it on there twice. A day for McDonald's most McDonald's burger. So go, because today's your day for a Big Mac.
Now available in 3 sizes, including the new Little Mac and Double Big Mac burgers at participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Follow me at DaveWeinbaum.net, at The Dave Weinbaum on Twitter, and streaming live on the Dave Weinbaum Show Facebook page.
It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
You know, like I did talk about my 3 closest friends, and they did, 15 to 25. One did 28, this and that. I was the only one of the 3 that had a father in my life, even though my parents were together. But I still had a father who was a gentle man and a good example, and they didn't. We can blame the system if we want, but they didn't lock any of us up at 7.
Obviously, some people have more to overcome than others. I'm not going to deny that. How we confront those challenges helps shape who we are. Everyone's got a different story to tell. There are some people who've never seen racism at all.
God knows I have been nothing but blessed. My whole path, these 33 years have been nothing but a blessing. I have never, never is a strong word, I've never dealt with racism.
KKID, Salem, Rolla.
That was, again, an all-black interview with Morgan Freeman and Lil Wayne. And these guys are living the dream. And there's thousands and thousands. I got a friend in St. Louis, Jimmy Williams. I think he owns 18 McDonald's restaurants up there. And he does much better than I do. But he figured it out. Now, he was in the Army. He had parents. He was from St. Louis, East St. Louis, though. Me and the rabbi just months ago went to that church, an all-black church, and he turned over and Pastor Pat was there too, and I believe it was her sister were also there, and they mixed me up for a pastor. Actually, the pastor there, Johnson, what a guy, what a great guy. He invited both of us up to the stage, and I don't know why he asked me, but I was just with the rabbi, So he says, it's Pastor, he's introducing me, he says, Pastor Weinbaum, is that right? And I said, well, no, I'm just another Jewish guy here with the rabbi. But, got to sit up there with the choir in the back and all that, and it was just incredible. No, I don't know who this is, but I think we're going to play her song. How's that?
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match.
Find me a find. Come on, DeAnna. Catch me a catch.
Hey, everyone. Matchmaker, matchmaker, look through your book.
And make me a perfect match.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, I'll bring the veil.
You bring the groom, slender and pale.
Bring me a ring, for I'm longing to be
the envy of all I see. This woman is passionate about making America great again. She's an author, star of TV, radio, blogs, now a Newsmax contributor and reporter, and the star of the Dave Weinbaum Show. Please welcome the Sicilian Spitfire, DeAnna, Lorraine. I caught your last interview on Newsmax. It was really cool, but they don't give you this kind of a greeting. Do you miss that?
I know, unfortunately.
Do you like? Don't you like this, to be greeted like this?
Yes, of course. I think it's great to have a warm welcome to the show.
Because I could stop doing it. DeAnna Lorraine's on the phone.
Oh, come on, Dave.
See, I don't want to do that. I think they like it, and I like doing it. I appreciate people come on this show. Because sometimes I'm a little bit of a pissant to them, and I might challenge them on occasion and stuff like that. Anyways. Let's see what I got for you. Okay. Hey, so you showed up at a bar in Florida that opened and was reported to have 16 customers and 7 employees infected with COVID-19, and yet no reports yet about the protesters and rioters. Will I be going too far if I called you skeptical?
Well, I wish I was in Florida right now, to be honest with you, to get out of California.
Actually, I meant to say you showed a bar. You didn't show up at a bar, although I know you've shown up at a lot of bars.
Yes. I was liking to go there. Yes, it was definitely in my feed, but I've been to a couple places over the last weekend because in the Los Angeles area, because things had started opening up. And there's really, there's no rhyme and reason to this COVID thing because everyone's been doing so much protesting and rioting and everything. And yet, we really haven't seen any cases surge.
No.
And everyone that I know has been perfectly healthy and safe. We have been doing, protesting for months, the lockdowns, and there's just been nothing. So obviously, they are, this is a very strategic and a very political type of disease, and it only affects certain people and it only affects certain places, which is very strange. But I think the jig is up.
No, I think this is all scientific. DeAnna, I think you're wrong. Okay. I think it's scientific. If you are a protester, if you're in Black Lives Matter or a rioter, you are immune from COVID-19. Did you know that? And if you're even planning to go to a Trump rally, you're either a carrier or you've already got it. Proven scientifically. Now, for the folks out there in Branson, I didn't mean that. Okay, it's called what do you call that? It's called humor. Give me a break. All right. So what do you think of that? I mean, they're saying Trump can't hold his rally.
Well, I think it's funny because they're trying to do everything they can, but I think it's painfully obvious even to liberals that this is so hypocritical. I mean, maybe this is the one thing that they need to finally see the level of hypocrisy and evil that the left is.
Do you think any liberal is bothered by hypocrisy?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. That's a great point. And I'm scared, too, that they're going to have plants in there. I mean, we know how dirty and disgusting and despicable the left is. They're most likely going to have plants in there, and they're going to, pretend to be infected with COVID afterwards. Oh, my God, I got COVID from the Trump rally. Trump is a killer. And then it's going to be the whole thing saturated with news for the next couple months.
Absolutely.
And that's what's scary. And, and Trump is well within his right to have everyone sign a waiver so that people don't sue him for that. And what's sick is that they're already finding loopholes to that waiver. There's been articles out this week talking about the loopholes already. These contracts don't actually prevent him from being sued. There's still ways around it. Isn't that evil and sick?
Very.
I think so.
Very. And wasn't
they're already planning it.
Wasn't the original kind of a voluntary lockdown about making sure we had adequate hospital beds and ventilators, and that we have these, and we for a while now, we've stopped the upward curve, and now we're going down. We've peaked. So
right.
So why would we keep insisting on a shutdown if we've peaked? And we know a lot more, and we know that the original purpose of this was we'd have enough hospital beds and ventilators, and that's no longer the case.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make any sense at all, actually, and nothing about this makes sense. It's also insane that certain states, like California, just yesterday they issued a statewide mandatory masks. Now it's going to be mandatory to wear masks. So it's like, why are we going backwards instead of forwards when the numbers don't reflect that? And we also know that almost everyone who goes on a ventilator dies. And, we know the health benefits of hydroxychloroquine, yet they're banning hydroxychloroquine. The FDA just pulled hydroxychloroquine last week, I believe.
They did?
And yeah, they said that you're no longer able to use it unless, I guess, like super emergency cases or something. It's really scary, actually. So they're planning for this next wave, and they're doing certain things to almost seems like make sure more people get infected. Very sick. I don't know how the left doesn't see right through it. Yeah, and everyone that goes on a ventilator, almost everyone dies.
So Fauci,
that's not the correct protocol.
Your favorite doctor, Fauci, you love this doctor, don't you? And first of all, he admits he lied about the masks. He said, I lied. I told the American people that we didn't have any masks. I just wanted to ensure that all the health workers got masks. So he lied to the whole population. Shouldn't that disqualify him right there? Number one.
Of course.
And number two, he wants to stop Major League Baseball from playing into October. Do you still believe that this doctor is of the deep state and should be fired?
I absolutely, even more so now, actually. And I think it's funny that all my original predictions have come true.
Yeah, it really is.
You know, everybody needs to look into the same crystal ball that you have, because the other crystal balls just don't seem to be doing their job.
No, you really have done a great job predicting it. And Donald Trump, who has he retweeted you this week?
No, he has not. And I think he needs to be retweeting me more. I think he's mad at me.
What did you do now? What did you do?
I don't know. I hope he's not mad at me, but I think he could be. Well, I've just been, look, I think that everyone has a right to hold their president accountable. And I haven't been saying anything critical even of Trump, but I have been saying, look, we did elect you to have big cojones, right, and to stand up to tyrants and to stand up to the deep state. And one of the major promises was to dismantle the deep state. Sure. And all of these shenanigans going on right now. And, I think it's a lot of people are feeling the same way, that, we almost feel, and it's not necessarily his fault, but we kind of feel like we're being thrown to the wolves a little bit here and left to survive on our own. Mm-hmm. And we really, really want Trump to step in and stop all this madness and bring certain people to justice, too, that he keeps tweeting about, like Obama and Comey and everything, before the election. Or it is going to, I think a lot of people are going to feel a little disheartened before the election if certain things don't happen, and if this violence and destruction of America is just kind of, it's not being really addressed.
Let me ask you a question.
I think that's why maybe he's not retweeting me.
If you were in a area that was, let's say, liberal and conservative equal, and a black person was wearing a Black Lives Matter hat, and you were wearing a Make America Great Again hat, who do you think they'd attack?
The MAGA hat.
Bingo.
Yeah, of course.
I'm running that question on a Facebook poll, and I'm getting a lot of response. It's like 99% MAGA hat. So, go ahead and look at it. Hey,
everyone knows that.
What's going on with Chick-fil-A? And this normally conservative restaurant company.
I think Chick-fil-A changed. I think they changed ownership or something a year ago or so, because there was a sudden change about a year ago where Chick-fil-A suddenly started acting like a social justice warrior.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. Now they've gone complete social justice warrior, and the CEO of Chick-fil-A just has been chastising Christians, white Christians, and saying that we are all guilty of sin for being racist and for having white skin. And he's going on this huge tirade shaming white Christians and saying that we need to get on our knees and shine the shoes of black people.
Shine the shoes of black people. How about that?
Shine their shoes.
Right.
He got on his knees on a big stage the other day, shining the shoes of a Black Lives Matter person, saying we need to grovel and do better and make it right to them. Despite all the violence,
are you going to grovel?
It's still our fault.
I
won't. I won't grovel to anyone. The only one I'll bow down for is Jesus.
There you go. And you, Steve, you going to grovel to anybody?
Only if you ask. Be pleased, Dave. You have to ask nicely, because you can't handle the truth, right?
And are you going to grovel before anybody?
Oh, only you, dear.
Well, there you go. See, that's a good answer right there.
My fingers are crossed, but don't look.
Well, she grovels before me. You better believe she'll be biting my legs. So
ankles. So bite your ankles while I'm down there.
Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find you?
They can find me at DeAnnaLorraine.com, and definitely all the Twitter action at DeAnna4, the number 4, Congress.
How do you know, DeAnna, conduits are strong?
They have strong wiring.
No. They conduit all night long. Ladies and gentlemen, DeAnna Lorraine, all the way from La La Land, from L.A. Hopefully you'll move. I hear Seattle has a nice little section you can move into.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Well, they stopped at one in Portland, so... Hey, listen, you have a great weekend. Always a pleasure to talk to you, and stay safe.
Thank you, and all of you
stay
guys
healthy,
too.
And find some guy you can, torture, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'll see about that.
All right, thanks, DeAnna.
Okay.
Have a great
Thank
weekend.
You guys.
Bye-bye.
Way to end it, Dave.
Okay. You know, I wish everybody well. All right?
Except the guy she's going to go torture.
Well, yeah. Why should I be the only one? No, wait a minute. No, you didn't hear that. No, shut her mic down.
You're determined to get in trouble today.
I am
you
in
started
trouble.
out
I'm
that
always
way,
in trouble.
and here you are talking about
Well,
groveling.
How did I start out that way? I was very nice this morning,
Groveling?
wasn't I?
No.
For show
You
prep
were
day?
cranky last night.
I'm always cranky on show prep day. You know that.
Snarky. I
Oh, my
made you a
God.
fine smoked chicken, and you still
snarky.
weren't happy.
You know
Ew,
what?
the asparagus is mushy. Ew.
Okay, you know what? You know what I want to play. Let's look at the Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein it
yes,
is.
Sir. This is Nancy Pelosi.
You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic.
This is Nancy Pelosi. There you go. How about them horses? You know, they had one in there that was really good.
Weird breed. You're.
I'm glad you finally turned around to talk again.
That could be the funniest thing you've ever said. Oh, my God. Didn't I tell you I do the jokes here? No, that was really good. No, you're not sorry. I know you're not sorry. Let's take a break before you take over all the jokes on this show.
Wouldn't do it.
Call 573-364-4433. We've got Laura Loomer coming on in about 12 minutes, 13 minutes. And so get it off your chest.
Moving, let's talk about Salem, Missouri, and what we have to offer. We are located in the center of Missouri, center of the USA, with a great school system, college, beautiful country club. Rivers within 1 hour drive include Jack's Fork, Piney, Gasconade, Merrimack, and 2 state parks. If you're looking to enjoy life with recreation or just enjoy life, call VIP Properties, Pat Tackett, broker, 103 East 4th Street, Salem, Missouri, 573-729-7622.
Reality check number 14. Getting a house loan shouldn't take longer than building your house. At Town & Country Bank, we have a solution for that. We know you're anxious to start building your dream home, so we make loans quick and easy. We don't have to send off to some big city for a decision. Your decision is made here, and your loan stays here. Town & Country Bank. Smart, friendly solutions. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Come see the professionals at Brown Vet Clinic of Rolla, where they promise to place your pet's health and wellness above all considerations. They communicate openly with you about the individual preventative needs of your pet and help protect them from common infectious and contagious diseases while using the best available methods, no matter how big or small the animal. The staff is there to help you 24/7 and will get you an appointment as quickly as possible. Give Brown Vet Clinic a call today for all your animal needs. 364-1919.
Of the multiple choices for investing advice, the Brummett team at Stifel is ready, willing, and able to form a plan to suit your needs. Member of SIPC and NYSE, the Brummett team has been in business for 30 years. Call 573-364-8930. That's 573-364-8930. My son Aaron and I are proud clients of the Brummett team.
Imagine a choice hand-cut steak seasoned with special spices, grilling over mesquite wood. At Colton's Steakhouse and Grill, it's not just imagination. We do this every day at Colton's. We also offer chicken, seafood, sandwiches, and salads, and our homemade yeast rolls. And it happens in the most fun Western-style restaurant you'll ever set foot in. Colton's Steakhouse and Grill, where we know what's at stake.
Colton Steakhouse in Rolla.
If you've watched Storage Wars, you know how smelly and moldy your valuables can get. Daniel's climate-controlled units ends all that. It's like a spa for your stuff. Call Investment Realty at 364-4050 and reserve a unit for Daniel's climate-controlled and secure storage. That's 364-4050. Follow me at DaveWeinbaum.net, at The Dave Weinbaum on Twitter, and streaming live on the Dave Weinbaum Show Facebook page.
Black Americans don't all think alike, just like all white Americans don't think alike. Race and family and police are interpreted differently depending on a person's background. You know, the poll we showed you last week, it's worth showing again. 70% of black Americans like their local police departments. Same for most Americans. It surprises you because the media and the Democrats paint a different picture. One of the reasons I'm playing clips from African American celebrities is because black and white Americans have more in common than the media tells us. But it's difficult to talk about race in this hysterical environment. People want to shoot the messenger, especially if they're on Fox, or if they're not a person of color, or heaven forbid, if they're not a Democrat. The Democrat Party continues to use race as a shield and a weapon against the right.
That's Jesse Waters. This guy is smarter and smarter as we go along, I think. And I'm taking calls right now. Call the show, 573-364-4433, and get it off your chest, and we can have a conversation as to what you think and why it's right, why it's wrong, in my opinion. And I like to be, you know what, if you think I'm wrong, don't hesitate to say it. I mean, you can't swear on the show, stuff like that, but you got, we can discuss things. After all, if I could convince Dr. Amy to go from being a liberal Democrat to a conservative all within like a couple of years, think of the wonderful things that can happen to you. Right?
She just said that wasn't the case, but go ahead.
I don't care. I was hearing her say that.
Uh-huh.
She might not have said it, but I think she was thinking that she listened to the show and
so you're saying you can read her mind now, huh?
Well, I am her therapist, her self-appointed.
You are not.
No, I did not appoint myself as therapist. She actually asked me for advice, and then guess what? She took my advice, and it worked. Can you believe that? I am not.
Oh, Lordy.
Well, I'm not a real therapist.
And you're not a psychic either.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was a psychic until I found out there was no future in it.
Right.
Thanks for the
Good call.
Thanks for the lead on.
You're welcome.
Can I get a rim shot there? Hey, come on.
Ew.
A rim shot.
No.
What do you think that is?
No.
That's where you hit a drum.
Next subject.
Stop it. Oh, my gosh. Isn't that?
Next subject.
Come on.
You need to look in the Urban Dictionary.
No, you guys are wrong. You guys have filthy minds. I have a pure mind. I just happen to say stuff, not realizing. What? What are you doing?
Hot in here.
Hot in here. What? She's
She's burning up from my dialogue.
Yeah, she's taking your one and only fan.
Oh my gosh, this is not right. All right,
I can even feel that a little bit now.
We got the Illuminator, Laura Loomer. Let's
Yes,
cover
we do.
some things that we may not have covered because I've got about 16, 17 things that I haven't covered yet. We did cover Father's Day. I want to talk a little bit about my father, Melvin, who was born in 1920. He died in 1993. I was 44. And my father did a great job. He was a great father. He didn't finish high school, I don't believe. He lived in the back of a candy store on the west side of Chicago with his brother, David, who I'm named after, and his mother, Rose, a single mother whose husband hung himself in 1929. So that's where they came from. They all came from Russia, including my grandfather, Michael, who killed himself. And I guess he got depressed over the Depression, as a lot of people did. And but he took the time to sire my father, and his brother David. David got killed in World War II as a tank commander in France, who was shot in the head by a couple of Nazis who captured him and another guy in a Jeep as they were surveilling an area in France. They killed my uncle 2 weeks before the war ended and let this guy go. Because why? Well, my uncle was Jewish. So my father, so he grew up kind of in a rough deal on the west side of Chicago. All of my relatives up until like the early 50s, of course, my father had left then to get married. They were living in a one-bedroom apartment, about 12 of them, on the west side of Chicago, and with one bathroom. And they, most of them would sleep on the floor. I had a cousin that was married that lived there, and they were given the bedroom. So that's what they did. And from that little group is where a lot of people emerged that did very well, who worked hard, who did the American dream. Okay, so I'm not looking at this American dream thing like it's for anyone only. I mean, did people hate Jews back then? Hello, did you ever hear of the Holocaust? Okay, yeah, a lot of people hated Jews back then. Were we as readily identifiable as a black person? No. That's a little bit of an advantage that we had over black people. However, many of my people, including my father and including me, have always seen this country as an opportunity-strewn country. And even with the anti-Semitism, even with the anti-black attitude, you can do it. And you can do it all night long and all day long if you want to. Okay? So that's my lecture, and I think we're going to take another break right now because then I want to rush the last two breaks.
Okay.
Got Laura the Illuminator coming on here shortly. Call the show, 573-364-4433. Get it off your chest.
Price Chopper in Rolla for the best quality products and the freshest produce in the area. With a full-service deli, bakery, and butcher cafe, you can feed the whole family with ease. Cold cuts to sushi, barbecue, and a huge salad bar. Kick back and relax, and enjoy your lunch in our dining room, located in Forum Plaza on Forum Drive in Rolla. Don't forget to sign up for a rewards program and save money on groceries today. For orders and catering, give them a call today at 573-364-1771. Open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Price Chopper in Rolla.
Make the whole family happy by bringing home Lee's famous recipe chicken. Choose from one of our many different specials, like the 16-piece classic or breast strip family meal, to the 8 different daily lunch specials. Call today for your next catering at 573-364-9330 or visit us on the web at leesrolla.com or just stop by Lee's famous recipe chicken in Rolla at 1902 North Bishop Avenue.
Welcome to the greatest rock and roll show on earth. Tonight's feature is Melrose Asphalt and Quarry, featuring their greatest hits, guaranteed low prices, guaranteed work, and their #1 hit, locally owned and operated. So call and get your tickets to the greatest rock and roll show on earth. Melrose Asphalt and Quarry, 364-9101. That's 364-9101. Melrose Asphalt is a local business and not an actual rock band.
If you're in the food business and your walk-in cooler quits, do you think you can call just any heating and refrigeration guy to fix it? Think again. Time is money, and you don't want to have to wait while an air conditioner repairman tries to figure out what's wrong. At Cox Brothers, food equipment repair is who we are. We have the specialized training and know-how to protect your expensive and fragile inventory while we repair your broken equipment. When you need food service repairs, go right to the experts. Cox Brothers Food Equipment Repair in St. James. We'll keep the hot side hot and the cold side cold.
The next time you need work on your vehicle, head to Muffler Mart on Highway 63 across from the Phelps County Fairgrounds in Rolla. It's been over 35 years since Muffler Mart has opened their doors. Marty, Keith, and Carl combined have over 120 years of auto repair experience. Their name says mufflers, but they do it all. And now you can visit them on Highway 63 South, just across from the Phelps County Fairgrounds. Muffler Mart in Rolla. For more information or appointments, call 364-5434. That's 364-5434.
Dear people who haven't had a Big Mac, who saw millions of people enjoying something and said, no thanks. We're not giving up on you because today is a new day. A day for a burger that has a bun in the middle because it can. A day for a sauce so special they put it on there twice. A day for McDonald's most McDonald's burger. So go, because today's your day for a Big Mac.
Now available in 3 sizes, including the new Little Mac and Double Big Mac burgers at participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Fixing your computer should be as easy as learning your ABCs, right? Wrong. The easiest way to fix a computer is to take a hammer to it. But that doesn't fix anything. So go back to the ABC basics, or really just the A, like an A1 Tech of Rolla LLC. A1 Tech takes the stress out of repairs for you with quick turnaround on all electronic repairs. With mobile pickup and on-site services, including evening and weekends, A1 Tech will be sure to have you up and running as quickly as possible. Give them a call at 458-9175 or visit a1techofrolla.com.
Sydney's in downtown Rolla invites you in on Wednesday for delicious fried chicken and chicken parmesan and freshly sliced chicken strips. And at Sydney's, Thursday is Burger Day, fresh ground each day. And Friday for lunch, they'll have meatloaf with homemade chips. And Friday night is steak night. Get a 16-ounce ribeye with 2 sides. Delicious food and great service at Sydney's, 707 North Pine in downtown Rolla. Open daily at 11 a.m., closed Sunday. Call for a pickup order or a reservation, 426-3707. That's 426-3707. Sydney's, look, like, and share on Facebook.
Follow me at daveweinbaum.net, at the Dave Weinbaum on Twitter, and streaming live on the Dave Weinbaum Show Facebook page.
The Democrat Party has near total control of the black vote, around 90%. But let's look objectively at this. If black Americans have been voting for Democrats for decades and have been governed by Democrats for decades, and in 2020 still believe the system is unjust and racist and stacked against them, well, maybe it's time to change the system. We spoke about this last week. If the left sends all the jobs overseas and imports cheap labor from the South and then apologizes with subsidies in return for votes, is that a fair deal? Is it fair to take away your Second Amendment and then police you really aggressively? And don't let you send your child to a better school? And blame Republicans for everything that goes wrong every 4 years?
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox, and a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to, but the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling, and you take him for a friend.
That was Malcolm X many years ago, warning black Americans about their so-called liberal friends. Malcolm X also says liberals use black Americans as a weapon to gain power over conservatives. They throw in a symbolic gesture here and there, but is there real progress? What's going to happen when George Floyd soon fades from the news? Now that neighborhoods and businesses have been looted and burned to a crisp. Minneapolis looks like a war zone. Is that progress?
Now, that was Waters and Malcolm X. And that was Malcolm X. That was sometime before February 21st, 1965, because that's the day he was assassinated. So we've got 65 years ago. Wow. Amazing, huh?
That's amazing.
And it's the same thing today. Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dave, it's Laura.
Hi, Laura. We're going to play a song for you. Thank you very much, and then we'll get to you.
Talk on the street, it sounds so familiar. Great expectations, everybody's watching you.
Ladies and gentlemen, former investigative reporter, the best reporter in the world. She's running for Congress in Trump's home district of Florida. And she is the most banned and bravest person I know. Please welcome Laura the Luminator. Loomer! Oh my God, they couldn't hold themselves back. Oh, and even my lovely, she's become a big fan of yours since you berated me that time and actually took the chutzpah to Loomer me. Little old me.
Oh,
it was so hurtful.
Poor Dave.
Anyways, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So Google has taken down the pictures of two of the Allied leaders in World War II, Roosevelt and Churchill. Why did they do that?
Well, it seems as though the left, and especially big tech social media companies like Google, Facebook, and Twitter, they are hell-bent, especially now in the wake of this new energized Black Lives Matter movement, to just change history, rewrite the facts, erase history, and make sure that there is no record of global history or American history whatsoever. And, we've seen this in the last couple of weeks with the absolute destruction and removal of statues and the defacing of statues and monuments, and it's a problem.
Here's my question, and it's based on what Eisenhower did at the end of World War II. He made sure that when they went to a death camp where Jews were exterminated, amongst other people, but they focused on Jews, that they took films of it. They took films of the mass graves. They took films of the survivors who were barely alive, and and the reason he did it was for history. Now, with everybody demolishing these statues and rewriting history, taking things out of books, in 100 years, will people even will it go the other way and say, you know what, we don't know how the blacks got here, but there was no slavery? Are they biting themselves in the foot?
No, what they want to do is they want to change the history of race of slavery and racism so that it's exclusively blamed on white America. And look, you see this in the way that Tim Kaine this last week, who would have been our vice president if it weren't for President Trump and Vice President Pence winning the election, and he said. Tim Kaine said, slavery was invented in America. So clearly this guy has never studied the creation of the Egyptian pyramids. Clearly he's never studied the Barbary trade wars. He's never studied, ancient Roman history. He hasn't really studied anything.
Thank you.
Either that,
who were the slaves back then?
Thank you.
Who were the slaves back in Egypt?
Well, Jews, right? So
yeah. Hello, 3,300 years ago.
Yeah, and also too, this is an inconvenient fact for a lot of these progressives.
Think about that. Jews were slaves in Africa. Hello.
Yeah, but now even so, not just Jews as well, but listen to this. So this is an inconvenient fact for the progressive left in America to admit or even have a discussion about, but majority Muslim countries are still selling black Africans in slave market trades to this day. If you were to go to Libya, in the year 2020 now, they have slave markets where they take black people from parts of Africa and they sell them. And you can look this up. It's not really reported largely by the media, of course, because it doesn't fit their narrative.
This would have been an amazing story for you to tackle as a reporter, wouldn't it have been?
Well, I highlighted it. I highlighted the hypocrisy, of the radical left aligning with jihadist movements and radical Islamic movements for this very purpose, right? Because they like to say that the white man in America represents the greatest patriarchy of all, but I would say that that obviously is not the truth. And when you look at a lot of Islamic culture and a lot of Islamic societies, they still have these Stone Age type, patriarchal systems in place where they oppress women. They stone women to death. They throw gays off buildings, and they are literally using slave labor.
Yeah, they don't talk about that in the mainstream media. That's for sure.
The Chinese have Muslim Uyghurs in concentration camps, and they are utilizing them as slave laborers to make products for these big tech companies like Apple.
Sure.
And so there is slavery, and they talk about slavery as a pastime, but slavery is still very much alive in places like Libya, in places like China.
Well, and we cannot let people forget the Holocaust, because there's a lot of Holocaust deniers out there, and we got the pictures. The Germans kept pretty good records, and we have those. So, anyways, Josh Hawley, Missouri senator, he He's got a bill that will make big tech, live up to their standards on all sides or risk being sued. And it's backed by Ted Cruz and a whole bunch of, maybe even Elizabeth Warren. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, we'll see. Hopefully it's not just more lip service and that there's actually some action taken, because we've been hearing about this for years now and we've had the evidence. And, what I don't understand is why has it taken elected officials nearly 4 years of witnessing all of this big tech tyranny and censorship of conservatives to address this, right?
Good question.
And why is it being done in a presidential election year of all times? I mean, we are 5 months out, less than 5 months out from the presidential election, and I'm afraid to say it may be too late. I mean, look at the way that Twitter is banning ads, YouTube is banning ads from the president, Facebook is fact-checking along with Twitter the president of the United States. They are clearly committing mass purges of Trump supporters and conservative affiliated accounts on these platforms, or these so-called publishers. They say they're platforms, but that's another debate for another day. But who knows? It seems like it's just a form of lip service. But I hope that it succeeds. Look, I hope that there's action taken. But I just recall over a year ago walking into Senator Hawley's office and trying to set up a meeting, and 2 years ago seeing him at CPAC and talking to him about the same thing, and not really being met with any consideration.
Well, he's on it now. And Facebook just banned Trump political ads. I don't know if they banned them all or banned just one, but I think they're going to put a ban on him.
Yeah, well, like I've been saying, what have I been saying on your show for the last 2.5 years, Dave?
Sure. Oh, I know. I get it.
What did I say? No, so you can repeat it. What have I been saying?
Well, you've been saying that nobody will do anything about this.
Not only that, but I've been saying they're going to ban the president.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, there you go, and they did.
They say it's too extreme, but they are.
They're doing it, yeah.
They're shutting down his ability to communicate.
So we do have a choice. It's called Parler, right?
Yeah.
And it's also, there was a story about this Ann Pascali that you wanted to, or is it Pascal, that you wanted to talk about. So let's hear about this.
Yeah, so Brad Parscale, who's President Trump's campaign manager, he was on Fox and Friends this morning, and he was talking about how Twitter keeps censoring the president and how these social media companies keep on shutting down conservative speech. And, he mentioned the fact that he is on Parler and that the campaign is looking into Parler. And, I've been one of the first people to using Parler since 2018. And was the first federal candidate in this country. I believe I'm the only federal candidate that has my campaign on Parler. But it looks like Trump may be getting on Parler soon.
So Trump is going to be following you along with his campaign manager to Parler. Wow.
We'll see.
How do you get on Parler? How do you get on Parler? Maybe we should have, huh?
You can download Parler. It's called Parler. So there's two different types of Parlers. Make sure you look for the one that ends in ER. It's Parler, and it's a red logo with a P and white lettering. And you download it in the App Store, and you just get on, and you can start communicating without any censorship. And it's great. There's I know that Dan Bongino this last week announced a partnership with them, and a lot of people are getting on, and a lot of Trump's administration and his campaign officials are on Parler too. So I really like using it. It's what I've been using because, of course, my campaign doesn't have access to any of these other social media sites besides Parler and Gab, because we're banned and we're the only deplatformed campaign in the country. But I have about 192,000 followers on Parler as of now, and it just seems to keep growing every day. So I would encourage everybody to get on Parler.
Okay, quickly. The race seems to be going even better than it was before, and it was going pretty good before. Is that right?
Yeah, going great.
All right, good.
We're
other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and contribute to you?
They can go to LauraLoomerForCongress.com. That's LauraLoomerForCongress.com. And that's where you can sign up for my emails and text alerts and make a donation. And we are just about 11 days from the end of this fundraising quarter, so we need to have very strong numbers, so anything that people can donate, please go to LauraLoomerForCongress.com and make a donation today.
And yes, I am a donator to Laura Loomer for Congress. Hey, Laura, how did 50 Dalmatians survive a plane crash?
Something to do with spots.
Yeah, they were all spotted.
They were all spotted.
Yeah, unsaved. Okay, never mind. All right. Hey, listen, Laura, you have a great weekend, all right? And keep it going, girl, okay? You're a big hero to all of us. To the people that understand it, you're a big hero, okay? Big fan.
All right.
All right. Shabbat shalom, my friend.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay, there we are. And that brings us down to the rest of my stuff and your calls. And also, we get to do our last break. And we get it on time, right?
You did it. You're done.
What do you mean
did
I'm
your
done?
last break.
That was the last break?
You did it.
Okay.
You're done with breaks. We've got
Okay,
5
we got
extras.
All right.
Yeah, we got extras.
Well, play a couple of play number 1 and 2 then, please.
All right.
That's right. You're right. Okay, I see it.
Senator Johnson.
Yes.
You compare that to Crossfire Hurricane and Crossfire Razor, the investigation of the Trump campaign's collusion into Russia and Flynn. I mean, those were witch hunts. And, again, you have to ask, what were they trying to accomplish? And it sure seems to me that they were highly political and either trying to cover up the wrongdoing because they understood how improper it was to do all these unmaskings, to be investigating a campaign, to surveil members of the campaign, also to sabotage this administration. So those are we generally know the outline of what happened, but we really need to understand who knew what when. And I'll tell you what I thought was very interesting about Rod Rosenstein's testimony is it was an astonishing lack of curiosity and management oversight regarding an investigation into the sitting president of the United States.
What have you learned in terms of Viktor Shokin, which, of course, we know that Joe Biden wanted him fired in Ukraine?
First thing I learned is subpoenas are powerful. We asked Blue Star Strategies, this Democrat-led lobbying firm that was representing Burisma, back December 3rd to start cooperating with our committee. 6 months later, they had turned over 149 pages and sent a letter saying they were fully cooperating. The subpoena now has resulted in 2,600 pages of information. So we've learned the subpoenas work. But the big question I have is, what was the serious offense of Viktor Shokin? Why did the U.S. government come to the conclusion that he had to be fired, and that resulted in a very serious threat on the part of Vice President Biden? It doesn't make any sense. And literally, we've been trying to get from the State Department to actually have an oversight letter specifically asking that question. Why did the U.S. government require the firing of Viktor Shokin? I have no idea. It makes no sense to me.
Other than the fact that, he was investigating Burisma gas company that where Hunter Biden sat on the board. How about that? Okay, that's what he was implying right there. So how did these guys get away with that? It's just $1.5 million out of China and hundreds of thousands of dollars out of Burisma. His brother in Iraq on a housing deal. Who knows how much money that was. This is this guy's corrupt, this Joe Biden. Okay, he's corrupt. And then they go and accuse Trump of being the same way. It's just all projection. They're projecting everything they do wrong. You can trace back to them very easily. The corruption, the Russian collusion. What the hell do you think Hillary was doing?
On and on and on.
Well, you got to, and that's why it's a battle. And you don't know whether you're going to win or lose, but you got to fight back. Okay, you got to fight back. If you want to call the show in the last 10 minutes or 11 minutes, call 573-364-4433. But while I've got the time, before any callers, I want to thank a few people. I want to thank people for promoting this show. Gary, Liz, Irish Eileen, Paige, Eve, Irritated Woman. Not you, Lisa. Karen, Rich, Robin, Stan and Lisa right here. Angel Gotti. Yes, from that Gotti. Yes. Sicilian moment right here. Trip, Al, Norm, Bill, Sadie, Debbie, Sherry, Boo Boo, yes, Boo Boo, Burning, Sightseer, Katie, Marta, Becky, Mini Tiger, Rebel, Keith, Hunter, J-Wall, Over It. That's what this woman's name is. She's over it. Carmelite, DeAnna, Madeline, JP, Pastor Pat, Bridget, Kirk, Diane, JJ, and Yisrael. Boy, that's good timing. I finished them all, and now I got to call her. Hey, this is perfect. Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Chester from north of Doolittle.
Well, hello, Chester. How are you?
I'm very fine. I just wanted to share something absolutely silly, ludicrous, maybe make people laugh, maybe make them cry. I'm reading a headline.
Yes.
Jimmy Kimmel announces he is taking the summer off to spend time with his family amid pressure to apologize for his blackface skits.
Oh, really?
How insane is this whole world becoming?
Oh my gosh!
He did some skits, between 1999 and 2004, and so now he's going to take time off for the summer.
Well, what about the governor of Virginia, Dr. Northam?
That's okay.
That's okay though.
He's aborting babies, so that's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I've never done that in my past. Of course, I get tan. I mean, here's how tan and dark I got. Even in February, I showed up to wrestling practice once. It was on a Saturday or something like that at Evanston Township High School. There were 16 of us, and they were all black except for me. Every single one of them. So they had a contest to see who was the blackest. Seriously, this actually happened. I came in fourth from last.
Yep.
So there were actually three other black guys. They were less black than I was, and this was February when I don't get tan. So they all thought that was pretty funny.
I got another crazy headline here. Exclusive. This is, by the way, from the UK Daily Mail. Meghan Markle, we know who she is.
Oh, sure.
Meghan Markle tells friends her instinct to leave the UK all makes sense now because she was destined to help fight systemic racism in U.S.
Wow.
And she hasn't ruled out a career in politics.
Well, that's somebody we can get behind.
Watch out, Greta Thunberg.
Oh, my goodness. What a threat she is now. Gee, that whole thing is really something. I mean, I don't care much about it. It's a royal family breaking up. Who really cares? But still...
Yeah,
you got Prince Andrew, who's he was a good friend of Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and used to mess around with the girls. Apparently,
that hasn't been proven.
Yeah, right. Okay. So Bill Clinton took 26 trips on Epstein's plane, and yep.
But that won't be pursued. That will never be pursued.
Well, we'll see. Someday, somehow.
No, they'll never pursue that one. No.
Someday, somehow.
Nope.
Well, no, I was just flying in the plane with the guy.
No,
I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what he was doing. I just sat in the plane the whole time on those island trips. Me and Hillary, we just sat in the plane.
You have to remember that Bill Clinton is the first American black president.
Well,
don't forget that claim.
Listen. You say what you want to about the president. He's the first American president to get a Jewish girl to eat pork.
Shame on you.
Thank you.
ask the rabbi to forgive you.
No. I ask you to forgive me. It was funny. And if you're thinking you're thinking what I'm thinking, you know what? It's a pure joke. So he made her a pork steak. He made her a hot dog.
She should have just...
That is such a bad joke. You need to go to a Catholic mass for confession.
No, I need to get beat up by a nun. That's me. I want to get spanked by a nun. That's one of my favorite dreams.
I have a ruler at home. I could...
Oh, baby.
Do you have a
dress
nun
up as a
outfit
nun?
too? Yeah, no kidding.
You got to do the part. You got to dress up as a nun.
The costume shop closed down, Dave. You're out of luck.
That's what happened.
Dang it!
Yeah, there you go.
Come on. It was Chester's fault. He led me into that joke. It was your fault, Chester. I would never do a joke like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you
Always blamed
I think
you.
I've done it.
Always blamed you.
And you always are the one that are monitoring me, saying you can't say that on radio. You shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do
Even
that.
when Steve doesn't say anything.
No. I don't say you can't or shouldn't say that on radio.
Oh,
What
yes, you
I
do.
often say, no, what I'm telling you is that something might be a bad line on your part, and as a moral.
No,
character,
you say it's definitely a bad line. You don't say it may be a bad line. No, you shouldn't use that. That's what you say.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
as in like
They're fine.
don't upset your guests, your audience, and your spouse. And
my
like
spouse,
that.
yes, and that's the main thing.
Show
There
some
you go.
proper taste.
He doesn't want me to show that
Chester,
tape.
we've been, it's been over 10 years now, so I don't think
know.
it's going to change.
There you
Well,
go.
no, he's improved. He has improved.
Has he?
He has.
You should have heard him in the early days.
Oh, it was.
I don't know if
rough.
that's a good. I don't know if
I'm hoping I had something to do with it.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute.
No, he's just getting better with age.
Okay, there you go.
All right, well, let's leave it on that because
That's why I married him.
because this was going downhill for a while here.
And Lisa's improving him dramatically.
We're getting to a peak here.
The truth comes out.
So a good peak, as bad as it seems, this is like a higher level than we just were.
Oh.
So thank you very much. Get off my phone, and I love you, and I love your wife. Wait a minute, I can't say that.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. See?
No, Martha's a great person. Okay, I don't mean that as a. Oh, I'm getting
Like a
in
brother
trouble.
and a sister. Yeah,
Like a brother and a sister.
there
Oh,
you go.
cut it out, will you?
Thanks, Chester.
Of course, this thing. Never mind.
And Joanne, Diane, who is the wife of my good friend Dave O'Reilly. They're all great people. Okay, whatever. Hang up on him, for God's sake.
No, he just hung up on us.
We need to hang up on you.
Click, yeah, click. He went click.
He hung up on me.
We need
Call
to-
him back and let's hang up on him.
Oh,
Call him back. Come on, you got caller ID.
You
I
I don't know how to do it.
I got 5 minutes and I'm rattled, so you can get
4
me to say
minutes.
stuff. There it is. You can get me to say stuff maybe that will get me kicked off. Come on, liberals, give me a shot here. Hi there,
Yeah, you
welcome.
told me to hang up, so I did. Now you're upset, so go ahead. You can hang up.
See, I told you he hung up.
You told me to hang up. You said get off my phone, so I did.
I thought I didn't realize you'd listen
Hey,
to me.
Chester, I'm being forced to do this.
Oh no, that wasn't true.
That's Dave. Dave did that.
I can't even reach the damn thing.
I do accept tips.
I have alligator arms. I
From
can't
Dave.
reach. I can't reach the console even. Look at me. I'm a foot away from the console. Oh my gosh! Now it just went down to the basement. That's how far down this has gone. And I got so much more to talk about. But I don't know. Oh, the NBA. They're threatening. They're threatening that if Trump doesn't quit, they are going to leave this country and never come back, and they will play somewhere else. I would suggest Wuhan, China.
The NBA.
The
is,
NBA.
huh?
Yeah, National Basketball Association.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
So
Wow.
I say take
miss ya.
your little hoops.
Well, you're
take your rubber balls. And go to Wuhan and don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way back. And I love the NBA.
Right.
I'm a big fan. I mean, ever since I was a little boy, that was the one sport I really loved. I can't play it, but I really loved watching the Celtics in the 50s and the 60s. I still am a fan of them, And they have apparently become so spoiled by the American dream, by the way, not by China, who seems to be backed by our current best basketball player, not Michael Jordan, but LeBron James, who says nice things about China and says you can't say bad things about China. And China has all their citizens scared to death. If he wants to move to China, by golly, let him.
So is there going to be baseball? Is baseball coming in?
Baseball's supposed to come in July, late July. They're supposed to play 60 games. Football, I think, is coming in, I don't know how long, October maybe. Golf is here. I'm really enjoying the golf, too. It's really good golf. And
Now, there's no spectators on the field, though, right?
Well, in golf, there's they have the private gatherings,
Okay.
so to speak. They're outside, but they're
Right.
roofed. And
so they're almost like little suites that they can congregate
exactly.
in and stuff like that, right?
But
like
on the golf course itself,
at the state,
and they're pretending to give high fives to each other. Some of them are actually bumping fists and things like that. But it's a lot of just what else are you going to do? And I think that's healthy. Everybody, listen to me. Get the hell outside.
Yes.
Don't sit in your house. That's where the germs aggregate. They're saying that if you go to closed areas and sit there for a long time, that's when people get it. Of course, who the hell knows how true it is? 1 week you're supposed to wear masks, and next week you're not supposed to wear masks. I mean, it's crazy, and they don't know what they're doing. Go to my website, and I want you to look at two things. First of all, you can get the show on the website. Secondly, you've got Tucker Carlson, who is about to get kicked off maybe from Fox, and you've got this thing about a nurse in the main COVID hospital in Elmhurst. Goodbye. Have a great weekend. I'll be here for another edition of the Dave Weinbaum Show.
Powerhouse Home for class.